Hello everyone, how are you? On this fine Sunday afternoon. I'm doing okay. My weekend was actually pretty good. It's just I have a little bit of a damper on it, and that yesterday I cracked my fucking phone. And I'm quite upset about this because I've never cracked my phone before. I've prided myself on taking good care of my property. So the fact that I accidentally cracked my phone when I accidentally dropped it on my laptop, hit it at like the perfect fucking angle to crack the screen, I was a little pissed off, a little upset. Fortunately, I'm getting a new phone in a couple days, so I guess it's fine. I'm not. Aaron profile picture. I'm just gonna call you Aaron because I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that shit. Um, all right, Neve. You should leave. Neve, you should drop a like and fucking leave before you get any spoilers. Because I imagine we're going to have quite a few spoilers in the comments here. Um, you should get the fuck out of here. Um, I will read those later. I will read any comments directly relating to what we're going to be doing in this video. I'm going to read those in a bit, so the people that are maybe trying to avoid spoilers can leave. Neve's here, Artist is here, Sun Eater's here, Bo says I know the feeling. That's good. We've got 7 viewers in here and only 3 likes. How about we pump those fucking numbers up? If you're in here and you haven't liked the stream already, you should. Let's see if we can get up to 7 likes, shall we? Aspenlog is here. Waz says it's the laptop's fault. Yeah, you know it. This fucking... So I have a screen protector on my phone. It's one of those, like... I actually don't know what the, what kind of material it is, but it's like a solid screen protector. So the idea of a screen protector is it, you know, protects the screen, right? Well, I looked at the crack, and it starts right at the side of the phone, right at the side of the screen, and it's underneath the screen protector. What a fucking useless piece of shit. The only thing this is doing right now is stopping me from potentially cutting my fingers open when touching the screen. However, that wouldn't be a concern if the screen protector actually, you know, protected the fucking screen. So, I'm a little upset about that. Aaron says, greetings from Poland, my dude. Ah, Poland! The land of my heritage. My grandparents and my dad are from Poland, so I care about them more than most European countries. Well, that's cool. I'm sure they would be... Well, I don't know if excited... No, not excited. They would probably find it neat that I have at least one viewer from Poland. Because it is kind of neat. Let's see here. I've been pinged. So, this stream will probably be maybe only like 2 hours at the max, because I really don't feel like doing a long stream this week. Yeah, that's basically it. Is large VC? I think this is the fucking streaming VC's name changes so much that I don't remember which one it is.
Who are we talking about?
Ah, hello, Ace. Alright, so I'm gonna have you on here, and, I actually have no idea how many active Kengan fans are left here. Balder, while he had to go...
Were you just talking to yourself?
Huh?
Were you just talking to yourself?
A little, yeah. Well, I am on stream right now, so...
Oh, it's already started.
Yeah. Welcome. So
Hello.
yeah, I at least have you here. I don't know if anyone else is gonna join VC. I don't know how many, dedicated Kengan people we have left that come on stream. So...
Is there an option on Discord to look at how many people have a certain role?
If you go into channels where only certain roles are allowed, you can see all of the people that are allowed to be in there. Like on the side.
Oh, yes. Although I figured that was only used for exclusive channels, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, this, if it's the correct channel, which I'm pretty sure it is, This one, you're only allowed in here if you have the podcast role. Because I can't just let anybody, I can't just let any random person on the server hop into a stream. That'd be a little
I have a
awkward.
podcast role?
Yeah, I gave it to you
Oh, hey.
at some point, actually. I checked yesterday and you already had it. I have no idea when I gave it to you.
Sorry.
So... Holy shit, we have 12 viewers already? Nice. Let's pump those fucking likes up. Let's see if we'll get to double digits faster than almost any stream. I knew this stream would do pretty well since it's a Kengan stream. And I don't think we've ever had a designated Kengan stream, so that should be fun.
Fine is here.
Fine is in here? Oh, right. Fine does read Kengan.
Hello.
Hello, Fine.
Hi. Have we talked?
No, I don't think so.
Hello.
You
Hello.
see, if Baldur was still here, I knew he would join in on this, but since he's not, I imagine we're just going to have some people coming out of the woodwork.
By the way, I can freely go by Ace, Munagi, or just Moon.
Alright, I'm going to call you Ace.
Alright.
Let's see here. Let's see. Sun Eater says Kengan Baki collab is happening. Yeah, didn't they... I don't know if they actually teased it. I know it was some kind of promotional art like a few months ago with Oma and Baki on it. But now they're doing like an actual crossover thing. I wonder if that's going to be good or if it's just going to be
Supposedly.
stupid shit. It could be dumb bullshit.
Mysterious Weeb posted a video about it yesterday.
I'll have to check that out. Let's see. Bo says, what do you think of the Kengan and Baki crossover? Well, I just gave my opinion on it. Could be good. I have a feeling it'll be kind of dumb. Because the power difference between Baki and Kengan is kind of big. So I imagine there's just
They did
gonna be
a
lot of
crossover
stupid
between Kengan
and Street
dumbbells,
Fighter,
and
yeah,
that was nice.
So maybe
they didn't fight.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, because Dumbbell's in the same universe, so...
Remember how they did 2 chapters of Kengan X Street Fighter?
Yeah, that was like a volume
was
thing, and that
one.
was actually good. So
Yeah.
we'll
Although
see.
they
I
didn't
wonder
actually
who's
have
gonna
a conclusion, and it was just a dream.
Yeah, it was
Spoiler
just a
alert.
dream. I wonder who's gonna be drawing it. If it's gonna be Daro doing it, or if it's gonna be Itagaki, or if they'll both
Daro.
be doing it. I hope that Daro does it because, like, Baki characters look good in the Baki style, but characters from any other series in the Baki style look unnatural.
I could see it actually.
Oh, you remember when he drew the One Piece characters and people were like, this is strange?
Oh, I've seen it. It is.
I mean, I could see it being like half-half, really.
Yeah, I could see them doing. Aren't they in the same magazine?
You know, I
I
just
think
realized
no.
something.
What?
No, I don't
Every
think so.
time Itagaki draws a new character with a smile on their face, it's always a look that says, yeah, I just fucked your wife.
Yeah, everyone in Baki has really big just fucked your wife energy.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
The One Piece character.
Especially Yujiro.
You
Hell,
got
he'll fuck
Well,
your dad.
yeah, it's because Yujiro does fuck people's wives. Holy
He'll
shit,
fuck your
when did we
dad.
get to 19 viewers? What the fuck? When did that happen? That was just
It's
like a
my
couple
energy.
minutes ago. What the fuck?
If it helps, I did advertise this to 5 servers.
Oh, well, yeah, that would be a big help. I actually posted this on the Kengan subreddit. I hope they don't take it down because it's a stream. But we are going to be talking about Kengan, so it is related, and they're usually pretty.
Where do I
lax
go to
about
check the
stuff.
video?
Huh?
Where do I go to, like, check how many viewers? Is it just on YouTube?
Yeah, you should be able to see it on YouTube. I'm looking at Studio right now.
I've never been on a stream like this.
Yeah. Well, I hope it goes relatively well. The good thing, what I recommend doing, if you're on PC, open it in another window or something, to view the stream so you'll be able to see what I'm doing on here. Just mute it so that you're not hearing my voice and your voice at fine.
I'm using a phone with a high-end headphones to talk and a PC to look at the stuff.
Good. Okay, so that should
I'm
make
just
things a little easier.
a little bit delayed because my computer decided to restart and my landlord decided to call right at the last moment.
Oh, don't bring up landlords today. Today I was reminded how much I don't like fucking landlords. Okay, no wait, it didn't go up to 19 viewers. Studio's just lying. It went up to 13 at some point, so that was it. What the fuck is wrong with Studio? Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, is there any language that I should avoid?
Don't say anything that would get me demonetized. Normal profanity, I use it like a second language.
Okay, so just like the F word and the S word are fine.
Yeah, I use that shit all the time. See? It's that easy.
Yeah, I don't use anything worse than that. Like, I hate that one word, personally.
Listen, if there's a word you don't use, I don't care. Because that just means I don't have to worry about you using it. So,
Yeah.
Skin says, Misc's first Kengan stream. Yeah, the last time I did a designated long Kengan thing was the last episode of Miscast. Which, when I start that up again, will be streams. Because I found that's just way easier to deal with. It's weird, doing a stream is actually easier to do well than like a long format pre-recorded thing, even though I do like no editing for those. It's weird.
If I mute myself, it's just because I got a cough real quick.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't want to do it on the end of the stream.
Right. Aaron says, is it the first one? I thought there were a few already. I mean, I do Kengan all the time. Well, I'm sure you're aware of that. I've never actually done a fully dedicated stream. Like, we're just doing Kengan for this stream, because I don't want to take, like, 3 hours or something. So, the last time I did something like this was Miscast, and that was pre-recorded. I did it as a premiere, so you guys had, like, a stream chat, but it was not live. So, yeah. This is just gonna be Kengan today. Skin says, Misc, don't say that name. Balder is who shall not be named now. I don't give a fuck. He's hidden from the channel. He can't even post comments here because I don't want him saying like a bunch of horrible shit in the comments.
Why did he get started called Bozo?
Huh?
Why did they start calling him Bozo?
I think bands started calling like crazy stupid people bozos, and then we just used that as a designation for the very insane people that get banned from the server.
Okay.
We have 5. Well, really only 3 major ones. The other 2 were just kind of fill out positions in band's comic.
Alright, here's a hot take I've been saving for 2 days for you.
Oh boy, let's hear it.
Out of all of the fighters in the Annihilation Tournament, there's one character that seems like he should have been a lot more talked about and relevant due to his importance of the plot, but he seems to be even more forgotten than characters that literally had a non-fight. Can you think of who I'm talking about?
Important to the plot. Let's see here.
But even more forgotten than the people who were not important at all and didn't even get to show off.
So by the main plot, I'm assuming you mean like the stuff with the worm and Nico?
No, I just mean like stuff to do with the main characters.
Stuff to do with the main characters.
Should I just say it?
Is it Hatsumi? I mean, Hatsumi does feel
Inaba.
Who?
Son?
Inaba.
Oh my
Who?
god, Inaba!
When's the last time someone talked about Oma's first opponent in the tournament?
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's just
even
because that
if
fight
you
is really
fight.
not that good compared to, say...
Lower alert
couple
for
of
the
his other
list.
fights.
College fight, I'd say.
I mean, it's still a pretty
and,
good.
and,
fight.
and I
It's
like
not bad.
and I like the dynamic between Inaba and his employer.
Yeah, the relationship between him and his employer is pretty cool too. I don't know
And
what
a
it
childhood
is.
friends with Cosmo's employer.
Yeah, they're all connected. And
Yeah.
then Inaba's just.
To Hayami.
When was the last time has Inaba been in the stands for the Purgatory tournament? I don't even remember.
Thing.
Not that I've seen.
I just forgot about him. Jesus. Well, I think it was just because he was
I
never
don't
really
really-
super relevant
Yeah.
after his fight. Because he was just never really... Like,
Well, he
Ryan
did
was
keep
important
scoring
after the
enough points.
fact. Cosmo's been important after the fact. Waka's been important. But Inaba, not really. Inaba
Every
was
time
just kind of left by the
he's up,
wayside.
Nothing-
some
Omega.
sort of bodyguards or something.
Yeah.
Not the bodyguards, but someone else's bodyguards.
Right, yeah.
You just always see him in the background with guys tied up by his hair, and he's like, eh. While other people talk about important things.
Sun Eater says, most underrated Kengan fighter? Let's see. Underrated. I think it's gonna be one of the people that got knocked out in the first round of the Annihilation tournament.
Nezu.
Well, Nezu has no feats to go by, so...
He won Bishamonten, which apparently...
But we haven't seen anything of Bishamonten. For all we know, Bishamonten is just fucking regular assholes fighting each other for money.
Well, we know 2 other people that were in it, and they were at least able to put up a little bit of a fight.
Yeah. I guess he's stronger than Tarashi. Oh my god. Maybe.
Well, Tarashi joined after Nezu left.
Right, I guess so.
Nezu retired 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And Tarashi just recently joined.
So... I think, maybe Mokichi. Because Mokichi actually had, like, a pretty decent fight with Ryan, and then removal happened, and, well, Ryan's, like, top tier, so... That didn't go super well. You don't think Ryan's top tier?
I think he does really well in all of his fights.
Who does?
Kyozan, the sumo guy.
Oh yeah, Kyozan had a really good fight against Seki, too.
Yeah.
And then he beat Ozo.
Either of those two, probably. The other ones, I think, are... for the most part, adequately judged. I don't think most people undersell Okubo. I think most people are like, yeah, Okubo's fairly strong. It's just he...
Well, with recent developments, finally, yes.
Yeah. Let's see.
We watched someone react to Okubo's fight for the first time last night.
Yeah, that was pretty... God, watching Neve read Kengan for the first time has been pretty amusing.
Just to clarify, Neve is a girl, alright?
Yes.
Yeah, alright. Seeing her be like, man, I thought Okubo was just gonna get one shot to show how strong Akito is.
And we were like, yeah, no. I mean, he's still gonna show how strong Akito is, but he's not gonna get one-shotted.
He has strategy.
Strategy.
Round strategy.
Switching between strategies.
Alright, I finally got the stream to work. I was having issues with the Wi-Fi or something.
Excellent. Be sure to drop a like.
Now I can see the comments.
Nice.
Let me read through these.
Skin says, Misc, aren't you supposed to be in a collab with Weeb? I think I asked Weeb about that the last time he was here. He didn't respond. Because that was like a while ago, but the collab hasn't happened. I haven't seen him do a collab yet, so I have no idea what's going on with that. I imagine the guy probably is kind of busy. The dude usually seems to have, like, quite a few different videos planned, unlike me, who mostly just either... Well, I mostly do reviews, and then when I do non-reviews, a lot of the time it's fairly spur-of-the-moment stuff. So Weed probably has a bit of a schedule. And then also, you figure when it comes to doing a collab, especially one with a lot of people, you have to worry about scheduling. The last time I did a collab with other YouTubers, which was the last Miscast episode, I had to make sure that it was during a time in which everyone could be there, which was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, because they lived in different time zones. They lived in the UK. Now that was easy because Nico and Shrift both live in the UK, so they were in the same time zone, but then they also had their own schedules they had to deal with, so it's a little difficult managing a collaboration.
Yeah, I haven't, I've actually seen this comment before. Nikaido, always underestimated because he just fights people who counter him.
Right. True.
He did actually put Kiryu into the Fallen Demon, which means he was in a crisis.
True.
Who's Nikaido again?
Nikaido Ren? The Chinese dude? The Chinese dude with the very skimpy clothing?
And then he becomes a bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then he fights Ryuki and all seems to lose even faster.
Oh, that guy!
Yes, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Jules says Meguro is the most underrated. I mean, he's fairly strong.
We've recently learned exactly how strong he is.
Right. Aspen says Kiryu versus Kuroki is such a good fight. I was so shocked that Beard won. Also, the art went insane on Kiryu's Beyblade fist. It did. I've been keeping up on /A on 4chan. They've been doing a Kengan story time where they go back through a volume of Kengan every day. And it's been neat to see some people talk about various fights again, because mostly, like, when you go on the board, it's just all talking about Omega lately. So when they go back and they give their thoughts or their initial reactions to the stuff that happened in each volume, it's kind of interesting to see. And with that fight, it was so shocking because when you were like, holy shit, Kuroki pierces through plot armor. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, every fight Kuroki has is anti-plot armor.
Rihito, the first rival.
Yeah, the main rival, the secondary main rival, the Sasuke.
Yeah, the Sasuke who really didn't have any relation to Oma, so I don't think he had that much in the way of plot armor. I mean, he was motivated by love, and you could say that was a bit of plot armor. And then he fought the main fucking antagonist and beat him.
Yeah. And then the main protagonist.
And then beat the main protagonist, yeah. See?
Like,
where's that board thing? Like, I can't find shit with that.
What do you? Oh, /A.
Yeah.
Just look up 4chan and then find the anime board. You can go on there and look for it, anime and manga.
Can't find anything. Can't find anything on the boards.
Like, there's nothing. Do you want me to just send you the link to /A?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think they've done a story time yet today, or well, I didn't check.
I mean, like the link to the story time.
Oh, let's see if we have one yet for today. Oh, we do. Why the fuck did Adam get the cover for Volume 22? That's so weird. I guess it's because Cosmo already got one.
Well, I actually reread some more last night.
Uh-huh.
The fights that take place right after Round 3 ends.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentions, like, I actually thought I did a volume thing about Ray already, but I guess I forgot him completely, so let's do it now.
You know what, that's hilarious when stuff like that happens. I found out that, the author of One Piece forgot to explain a character's power, and everyone was waiting for the reveal, and he just realized, oh, I actually forgot to tell everyone what it was. That's awkward.
Actually, that's happened 3 times recently, where he's like, the Supernova or Worst Generation's Devil Fruits. He just revealed their names in extra material because he thought he already did a long time ago.
That's so fucking funny. Shadow King is here, says, hello, been a while since catching you live. What are we doing tonight? I am going to be ranking all of the fights from the Kengan. Well, I guess some of them are from not the Annihilate. Well, all the big important fights from Kengan and Ashura. We're going to do a tier list.
All of the Part 1 fights.
All the Part 1 fights.
I don't know if that includes the ones that happens during the coup d'etat, though, because most of those are... I
don't think they have any from the coup.
You mean we're not gonna get number 1 bodyguard versus number 1 guardian?
Let's find out. Is it on here? Hold on.
I don't think it is.
Hold on, I'm looking.
It was literally a 3-page fight.
I think someone said it was 8 pages. But still good. Nah, it doesn't look like they have it on here. Very unfortunate. It looks like they were reserving that for characters that are either Oma or are in the tournament. So, oh well. Let's see. Is there any final messages I'd like to read before we begin?
Someone asked, change the outcome of one fight. What would it be?
Change the outcome of one fight. Let's see. I think it would have been interesting if either Meguro or Seki beat Muteba, to see what would happen after that.
Sadly,
I would have enjoyed seeing Sekibayashi fight Wakatsuki.
That would have been fun.
I mean,
Also, not outcome, but as some people have pointed out, I would like to have seen what would have happened if Hatsumi landed Star Drop on Agito. I think Agito still would have won, but I would have liked to have seen what happened.
Oh, yes, me too. But then again, in the semifinals, Sekibayashi spends like 2/3 of the fight just going off about how awesome Wakatsuki is and how he wouldn't stand a chance against him.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to see those guys that Seki was talking about Waka beat, because all of them sound like they could be references to Fist of the Seeker or something.
They kind of do, yeah. Well, I'm going to be back in just a minute, and then we will begin our ranking.
All right.
Also, you're welcome to read messages from the chat if you wish to keep things going.
Cool. Let's see here. Sorry, I have a bit of an allergy, so I have to keep muting myself for a cough. It usually goes away a little bit after about an hour or so. Hopefully soon. All right, so someone explained to me why the quarterfinals were the weakest round by far, even though they had great potential. Well, let's see. In my opinion, whenever it comes to Kengan fights, it's not always just about like how skilled and strong they are. I've actually gone through every single fight where somebody lost, surprisingly, and I narrowed it down to their mindset, really.
Yeah.
Their priorities, their attitude, their personality. It has a big impact on who actually wins and loses.
Yeah, like Muteba, just not doing this shit. It's stupid. for him.
Agito decided to stop being a cocky asshole and actually try hard from the start.
Mhm.
Cosmo stopping trying to like, oh, I can punch now, instead of just doing what he does best. And a lot of people forget that Oma did not use advance in 3 fights in a row. He did not use it once after Ryan until he fought Kuroki. In order to save it for the finals. Kuroki art is just awesome. Although you can tell exactly when the art shift style happens.
Yeah.
It's right at the end of round 1, going into the early parts of round 2. The art style changes almost completely.
Yeah.
For the better, in my opinion.
Yes. Krakasuki doesn't exist, and up from that point on, Kuroki.
Oh man. I'm gonna turn up volume on you. Oh wait, no, it's already at max. You're just a quiet fellow, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright.
My microphone.
Oh wait, no, I forgot these headphones have a special function. And just turn up the volume on the headphones themselves. Yeah, Kuroki is like probably the best surprise in Kengan
Yeah.
as far as character goes. He's like, you thought all of these guys were gonna get further in the tournament? I have an old man that says otherwise.
I have an old karate master.
Alright, I'm back. Let's get into this shit.
Alright.
Let's see here. Let's make sure that we have the window capture on the right thing. There we go. Let's shrink this down a little bit.
Oh yeah. Dylan said they'd probably make it so Nezu was not instantly nuked. That's a fair idea.
Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to hide the chat to make sure that things are not cut off too much. Oh well.
Every time I saw Nezu after he lost, I'm like, why are you still here?
That's a good question. Alrighty, folks. I think we should do this. I know they have like an order here, but I think we should do these in chronological order. Why not? I think I remember the order of the first half of the bracket, but like the left side, but I can't really remember the order for the right side. So I'll rely on your help for that. Or I can just check the list you sent me, because that's in order, right?
It's pinned, yes.
Yeah.
It's actually the exact chapter each fight starts.
Excellent. Okay. Let's see. The pre-tournament stuff we have here, I'm going to be honest, I barely remember any of the pre-tournament shit.
Well, there's Oma versus Komada.
Yeah, is that on here? I don't think it is. I'm looking around, I see the art style. I don't think it's on here. It looks like they have Oma versus Rihito, Oma versus the Medicine Man, and Oma versus Seki.
How are
What
these
was this-
arranged
Wait, that
in
was
the image?
Harry?
These
Yeah.
seem to be arranged almost at random, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which usually happens with tier lists. I don't know what it is. So, Rihito's fight happens first out of these three, right? I'm gonna be honest, I barely fucking remember any of these. Do you have any particular liking for them?
Rihito and Oma?
Yeah.
Well, it was pretty hype finding out about Redirection Kata and the Braze's Edge, but other than that, it was mostly just establishing Oma's power.
Yeah,
much.
like
But I
for
like them.
these initial ones, honestly, I have them at like C tier. They're just kind of okay. Like they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
I don't really
Not
think of
bad.
them as being super crazy or memorable. They're mostly
That's
just
fair.
establishing stuff.
Although I'm Koji and D. Nothing against Neve's love for Kaburagi Koji, but that entire fight was just old fat men can do this too. They can sneak in contraband and poison their hands.
yeah.
Completely in the anime even.
Oh god. I don't think I'll ever check the anime, not because of the animation style, but because it seems like they cut out a lot of the stuff that makes Kengan more than average.
Yeah,
Kushida
like, the
Ren
entire
and,
background stuff, really.
Yeah.
That's just
Like, I think
missing.
they cut out Seki's backstory from his fight with Kyozan. I think.
They cut out Retsudo, they cut out Koji, they cut out Kushida Rin. Hasad doesn't come back.
Cringe. Very unfortunate. Okay, now let's get into the tournament for real. We have... Where the fuck are these people? Adam Dudley versus Imai Cosmo. The first fight of the Annihilation... Oh, wait, actually... Hold on, we have Kaneda versus Ryu. I don't remember this one being anything really special either.
I mean, Jeet Kune Do is fun to watch.
It's true.
Watching an underdog win a fight that he clearly was outmatched in is pretty rare.
Yeah.
It'll be.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. We'll put it up. It'll probably be like bottom B tier or something.
Oh,
Okay.
For his arm being broken the entire
that
tournament.
was actually... Fuck.
Else has an injury half that
It's
long.
so dumb that he's the one character that applies to.
And then he goes up into the stands, and the other fighter's like, "Who the hell are you?" Like, sorry, I'm the fighter. I didn't get into the tournament.
That's so goddamn funny. Okay, now for real. Adam Dudley versus Imai Cosmo.
I liked it.
Fight.
It's a
Yeah.
pretty decent start.
It had some pretty good twists.
The end,
Yeah.
I think, is probably the most memorable part. Adam
Yeah.
has like a bunch of dumb shit that they just make a big deal of him being this white trash guy from America.
I mean, another thing the anime changed, they changed his grill from fuck to damn. I guess censoring.
Yeah, that sounds like censorship. That's hilarious.
Literally, his first introduction into the manga was just a close-up of his grill.
Yeah. That's Adam's character.
He's
And
a
the end is kind of neat with him hallucinating.
Sorry, what?
The end is kind of interesting with him hallucinating everything.
The oxygen is cut off from your brain.
You're gonna see some crazy shit, man. Okay, we'll put that in B. I don't know. I don't think there are gonna be that many fights in D tier. Maybe like one or two, for not really being fights.
I'm not a very critical person, but I can think of like 3 fights to put in D tier.
Yeah.
Nezu probably.
Let's see. Now we have Haruo versus Okoya. This was a pretty good fight, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Overall. Basically, it's basically just there to show what a fucking monster Okoya is. Or he's not really much of a monster at this point. He's more of a machine.
I've always wanted more Haruo.
Yeah, I think he was a little underutilized when he came back in Omega. Like,
Yeah,
Seki, they use Seki a lot, like they should. But Haruo's a little underused.
I just realized Haru gets the exact same treatment in Omega that Boo does in Dragon Ball Super with their tournament.
Really?
They're like, oh, let's build up the fat guy who was pretty strong before. He's going to be part of the team. Oh, no, last second, no, replace him with somebody else who's evil.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, pretty good fight overall, I think. With quite a few of the round 1 fights, I feel like a lot of them are pretty decent B tier. And then once you get to round 2, you start getting into the really good shit. So most of the stuff is probably going to be ascending order through B tier. Next we have Ryan versus Mokichi. That was one of the more vicious fights, especially the end, when you're like, oh fuck, he's gonna kill the shit out of Mokichi, and then he doesn't somehow because magic. Oh well, Hanafusa magic.
Do you think Ryan was actually getting ragdolled, or he actually was just playing?
Huh. I'm not sure. I feel like Ryan wouldn't mind just beating someone to death in base form. I don't think he's that into it. Or at the very least, Mokichi was able to hold his own against base Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was throwing his punches, really. He was just getting countered constantly.
Right. And then removal happened, and well, Mokichi somehow survived that. Somehow survived that.
I almost feel like we need to treat Curry Techniques Ryan as a different stage of Ryan.
That is something that has been brought up. Is that Techniques Ryan has to be considered a separate entity because basically, what if Ryan was not himself?
What if Ryan was just his power set and not his dumbass attitude?
Literally, what if Ryan was not a fucking idiot? Yeah. That would be Techniques Ryan. But since Ryan is an idiot, he's not as high as he would be.
He never used them during the tournament matches.
Yeah.
God, that character file for Alan is annoying. He's actually really strong. It's just he had a really unfortunate matchup.
Yeah.
I don't like how that was translated when they literally put the word jobber in the translation.
Oh, did they?
Like, there's no way they actually said that.
No, but what they said for Lu Tian's at least was that, oh yeah, he's really strong. Too bad he went up against Agito, one of the strongest characters in the series.
They basically said that for both of them. Yeah. And Lu Tian E40, but he became a student after Agito left.
Volume 10 really is the jobber volume, not gonna lie.
I also looked it up, and people did think that Agito created the formless style.
I mean, I think most people kind of assumed that it was something he just developed from the Gu ritual. That it wasn't something he was taught, it was just something he did as a result of it.
And then Tiger Nico was just like, you know, I like this guy's, what he did. I'm going to show some other kid how to do it, and nothing else.
I don't disagree with the complaint that other people knowing it makes Agito seem less special.
I do want to see other people utilize the ability to just... Formless isn't that unique when you think about it. It's just mixed martial arts, but on a higher level.
Yeah, and also turning into fucking mush. Somehow. I go so limp that my anatomy doesn't matter anymore.
I feel like that's just water kata, which we know
it's probably based on water kata, yeah. If the fight between Agito and Lu Tian was anything to go off of, they made it much more watery than it was in Ashura. Metaphors, okay. Yeah, honestly, most of round 1, it's just ascending order. The fights just kind of get better, in my opinion, except for a few exceptions.
It's mostly just establishing, weeding out the weak.
Yeah, that's what... the reason round 2 is so good is we've gotten rid of, like, all the fodder characters. So now we have, like, the real actual characters fighting each other.
Only the Chads.
Oh, only the Chads remain. And then for some reason, round 3 is kind of meh, because we got rid of a lot of the cooler ones.
I talked about that while you were gone.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Someone asked why the quarterfinals were the weakest round, and I was talking about why that is.
Why was that exactly?
In my opinion, a lot of fights in Kengan come down to their priorities and their attitude and their mindset. And in round 3, everyone just decided to stop fucking around entirely and just do this with the best of their ability, what they do best. No more being cocky, no more copying their opponents, no more holding back. And so the fights were much more clear-cut and dry.
That's true. I also think quite a few people had bad matchups. Like Muteba versus Waka,
Yeah,
a little
I don't even
early.
think he could have done the hard stab because his fucking pecs are so thick. He couldn't even pierce the man's jugular. You think he could have got through his chest?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, that was a bad matchup for him. Oma and Cosmo, I mean, it was heavily wounded. Actually, both of them were heavily wounded.
Yeah, they were both, like, barely walking.
Yeah. Damn, 15 viewers and only 10 likes. We need to pump those fucking numbers up. If you're in here and you haven't already, you should smash that motherfucking like button.
Someone disliked it.
Oh, I've noticed that happens to all of my streams, and I've seen that start on other people's streams, where, like, as soon as it starts, they get 1 dislike. I think it's a bot, because then it goes away after a couple days.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird. No, it's not just something that's happened to me. I've seen it for some other people. Very strange. Let's see. Okay, so after that, we have got Alma versus Inaba, which was pretty good, I think. Was it better than this fight?
Oh wait, we're ranking them, like, within the tiers themselves?
A little bit, yeah. I just kind of do that so that people don't yell at me.
I would put it either at the bottom of B tier or the top of C tier. Because it really was mostly just Oma uses the advance
Oh my
in
god,
front
look
of
how
a...
fucking strong the advance is. It's way better than when you use the Nico style against this guy. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't... did you put Oma versus Sekibayashi in C tier? Because I would put that in B.
Really? Where in B tier, exactly?
Probably the bottom, but I almost forgot about that fight for a minute. Like, that was one of Sekibayashi's fights. It's always good with him.
Oh, you know what? That's true. That's true. That's pretty true.
He almost beat Oma.
Yeah, he did. Because, I mean, I don't think Seki really got that much stronger between that and the Annihilation Tournament. He's just kind of...
Oh, no, he didn't get stronger. Oma just gets less fucked up over the course of the series to the point where he reaches his actual peak.
Right.
Oma's just doing what Hatsumi does the whole tournament.
Yeah, basically. He has a less good version of what Hatsumi has. Is it actually? No, wait, because then Oma's baseline remains the same. Or no, his baseline goes up, whereas Hatsumi
Oma's
doesn't.
baseline is how much brain damage does he have at the moment?
How much brain damage does Oma have? Whereas Hatsumi, his baseline is always there. It's not that high. And then however high above that he gets is very random.
Up until round 3, Oma was weaker than he was when he was 18.
Yeah. And then he remembered being 18. I'm sure that's a
and then he
power
remembered,
boost for
oh,
many people.
I'm not shit at this!
That's a power boost for everyone, remembering when you're 18.
And then they go into existential depression.
Indeed. Alright, next one. We have
Rusty
Wakatsuki
says-
versus Gozo. Now, this fight is one of the few, like, jobber fights that I actually really like, just because it's so ridiculous.
It
Like,
is pretty nice. Do you
the
know what they did to
fucking-
it in the anime?
They just made it the last punch.
Yeah, they just literally
So
cut
they
from
turned
them running
Gozo
towards
into
each
a
other.
super jobber.
Oh man.
But
Like,
the fight,
literally no transition, just him being punched.
yeah. So honestly, I would probably have that low A tier just because of how entertaining that fucking beating was. Like the fucking,
remember,
the
world's fastest
stupid
flying
punches, the dumb punches that Waka was throwing. Like that last punch. That's one of the other. That's one of those moments in Kengan where you're like, how the fuck is Gozo alive? That's stupid.
Well, he was, like, out of commission for 2 rounds after that.
Oh yeah, he was passed out for... Don't forget, does the coup happen right after round 2 or right before round
Yes.
3? Right after round 2.
Well, the entirety of the space between round 2 and 3 is the coup.
Yeah. So there was, what, like 2 days after that, and then Gozo was up kind of fighting the Guardians?
Now that I think about it, in both Ashura and Omega, Gozo spends almost all of his time in hospital bed.
That's because he's a little out of his league.
Okoye did it to him.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd actually probably...
is equal to KAT Ryan.
I would probably put this one low A, just because of how entertaining a lot of it was, actually. It was very concise, but for what it was kind of hilarious, actually. It was kind of a hilarious fight, just from how absurd the damage Gozo took was. Like, the finishing blow from Waka had Gozo's spine at like a 45-degree angle. It was nuts.
Don't forget, they also set up a running joke, foreshadowing here.
Which one was that?
Where the guy keeps changing, like, Waka's weight because he thinks it's fucked up, a typo.
Oh, yeah, and they're like, shut up, it's 193. It's 193, right?
Yeah, when they first introduced him for this fight, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, there was an error in his stats. Let me fix that.
No, it's correct. Waka's like 400.
They don't say that until round 2 or 3.
Yeah. Waka's 400 goddamn pounds. He's a monster.
Why hasn't he gotten heavier in 2 years?
That's a plot hole. They forgot. That's
well, we don't know how
hole.
fast the muscle grows.
Yeah, but I would imagine he would at least grow maybe like a kilogram or 2.
Yeah, maybe he's working the weight off.
How the fuck does that work? How would
burning fat?
But I don't think Waka has much for body fat, to be honest.
It's hard to tell. He's a thick boy.
He's a very thick lad. Anyway, now we have, wait, is it even on here? Hold on. I need to check.
What?
Sawada versus Julius. Is it even on here?
Well, technically they didn't fight.
They didn't technically fight.
The build-up of how good Owada was 5 times longer than Owada actually fighting.
It was just, he kicks Julius. Julius's neck is so ridiculous that he doesn't take any damage from it, and then he just cracks Sawada's leg in half and smashes him into the wall or something.
Another thing Julius has in common with Waka, someone tries to go for their neck and they fail.
Right. Well, he went for the head, but the neck is so thick that it just absorbs all the impact, so then... Yeah, not a...
D tier?
It's not even on the tier list, I think. I don't see it on here, unless I'm mistaken.
It would just be an image of Julius grabbing his leg.
Yeah, I don't even see it on here, actually.
I don't know, Owada is another character that I feel like has been completely forgotten about despite being friends with Rito.
Yeah, because his design is weird, so they just didn't bring him back at all. I don't think he's even appeared in Omega. I don't remember him showing
But he
up.
makes a lot of funny facial expressions.
He does, yeah, that's what he's there for. Well, I guess that one's just not even on the list. That one just doesn't even count, apparently. But
I think of him as Mushroom Head. Is that just me?
Yeah. Well, it does look like a mushroom, yeah.
Remember, never fight a ballet dancer.
I'm surprised Adam didn't call him Penis Head like he called Cosmo.
Well, if I saw a penis like that, I'd be terrified.
It would be a terrifying dick, yeah. Yeah, no, but we have Ray versus Nezu on here, so I don't fucking know. Maybe because this one was actually called in as a match. Christ.
Well, it was immediately a surrender, technically.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't put any of the fights from the coup d'etat in there, did they?
Not that I can tell. I mean, they have Oma versus Kiryu, but they don't have... It doesn't look like they have any of the coup fights.
That's after round 3 is when that happens.
That was after round 3?
Oma versus Kiryu immediately precedes Oma versus Waka. I reread it last night.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Next
I wanted to refresh myself on those 2 fights.
Next we have Meguro versus Muteba. This is a good round 1 fight. This one
That is the most savage fight in the series,
It is
possibly.
the most violent. It is...
Aside from
For
Alan.
one that you want to count as an actual fight, it's probably the most violent fight in the series. Because you have two guys that are doing actual serious injuries to each other. Like fucking grievous wounds.
No one else ever gets eye gouged.
Nobody gets successfully eye gouged again. I mean, they get eye poked, but they don't get eye gouged.
It happens 3 times in this fight.
Meguro, the supposed immortal man, is the only actual casualty from within a match.
And then he comes back.
As a clone!
They still haven't clarified how that works.
Yeah, we haven't gotten an in-depth explanation for cloning. I don't think we're really gonna get one. They're just gonna be like, yeah, cloning's a thing. Anyway.
My opinion about cloning is that, and this also applies to Baki, cloning a fighter does not replicate their skills and training.
No, that's why
it
with
doesn't even
Musashi,
replicate their muscle build.
They had to do some voodoo bullshit to give Musashi his memory or spirit or some fucking garbage. I don't know.
Yes,
and with
but
Hayami,
cloning his body in a tube would not replicate the years of training he did on his muscles.
And with Hayami, they did train him against Meguro, and they're doing
How?
the whole...
That doesn't even make sense. Meguro was hired for that job where he died.
That doesn't make any fucking... Well, didn't Hayami catch Meguro, like, right after the serial killing stuff happened?
Apparently, he might have actually been his younger brother. I don't know how that works.
No.
Some people think that him fighting Meguro was in his mind.
If I remember the end of Meguro's backstory correctly, Hayami, like, finds Meguro when he's still a kid. If I'm remembering it correctly, people in the chat, you're welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Hayami found Meguro when he was still a teenager, like, right after the whole serial killing thing happened. And I think that was long enough ago that if basically Hayami picked Meguro up and he's like, yeah, this kid's a prodigy. Too bad he's also batshit insane. Let's see if we can clone him so that he has sort of the innate talent without any of the crippling mental illnesses, and then just have Meguro train him. I don't know.
And then he tries to give him the mental illness.
And then, which is, oh god, the end of that fight is so fucking stupid. It's so dumb.
I'm so confused by that.
It's like, oh yeah, the great thing about Hayami is he's like Meguro, but he's not crazy. Anyway, we're trying to turn him into literally a copy of Meguro, insanity included.
There's like
Why
3 points of
would you
inconsistency
fucking
with
do that? It makes no goddamn
I saw the
sense.
chapter. I saw that like extra chapter where all of the 6 guys meet for the first time. They're trying to replace fighters.
Yeah.
Meguro's just staring at a fly on the wall and says it died or something. And then when we see him fighting in a like Hayami, Meguro versus Misaki fights Meguro. We're just like, some people think that was just in his mind, like his mind trying to process the Guihin or whatever.
I don't know, Chief. I don't even know.
And then there's apparently a newspaper report where it mentions that he had a younger brother, but other times said he was only child. I don't know.
God, some of the writing is not good. Anyway, that was pretty good. I'd say that's another A-tier candidate right there.
Oh yeah, let's put it up at A tier. The savagery.
The savagery and Muteba being cool.
Oh yeah. Muteba got a lot farther than I thought he would in the tournament.
Yeah, he did. When you think about a lot of the characters in the tournament and who Muteba is, he gets surprisingly far. Next we have Sekibayashi versus Kyozan. This is high A tier. This is one of the best fights around one.
I agree.
Purely because of Seki being perfect.
Kyozan was a bit of a little shit.
Kyozan's a little fuck. He's an angry little bastard, and Seki puts him in his fucking place.
Oh, well, fine. What were you saying?
Fine, are you there? I can't hear you. Oh no, he's muted. I don't know if he even said anything.
I just hear a voice.
That's weird. Did you turn down the volume for the stream all the way?
My computer itself is muted.
That's fucking weird. Anyway.
It just sounds like I'm hearing like half syllables come from the call.
Very strange. Anyway, Yeah, that's a fucking great fight. Especially because it has Seki's backstory, which was cut out of the anime for some fucking incomprehensible reason.
Isn't his backstory cut in half and they like put one part of it now, one part of it later?
Oh, maybe they did. I don't fucking know. Seki's backstory is great, and also, what's the point of doing sumo if you've lost faith in sumo? It's great.
Also, the screenshot of when he's about to powerbomb him for the final move.
Oh, power bombing. So good. So...
No one to say anything about what the pose they're in looks like.
Oh, Seki. You beautiful bastard, you. Let's see, what's next? Saw Pang versus Karo. It's an okay fight. I don't remember anything like super crazy good about it.
Saw Pang is legitimately one of my favorite characters in the tournament.
I do not like him.
Why don't you like Saw Pang? Is it because he's loud?
Yeah, he's so loud. I don't like that kind of character, I think.
Well, I know you don't
He's
like
the-
that type of character. You don't like power.
Yeah. He's the hot-blooded archetype.
Indeed.
But he's also very considerate and understanding, which they always go into in extra chapters.
True. Nezu versus Ray. Where is it? D tier. I don't have to explain that. It's a non-fight. It's not a fight. There's no fight happens. Rihito versus
By the way, the
Kuroki.
Karo fight was closer than I thought it would be, but just to say that.
Rihito versus Kuroki. It's basically just to show that Rihito was a big fish in a small pond, and now he's been thrown into the ocean.
And then he meets his master.
His tsundere master.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I don't know, like high B tier. Not too much to say about it. Kuroki's kind of ugly when the art style's at this point. They changed his design much for the better.
His face was like so wrinkly, it looked like veins.
Yeah, Christ.
Right.
Nikaido versus Kiryu. That was pretty decent.
Short, but not bad.
Yeah, where is it now? They use all these kind of random screenshots from the fight, so sometimes it's a little hard to tell what the fuck.
It's the first time we really see what Kiryu's made of.
Yeah. I keep hearing people move around in my house. I keep thinking someone's gonna come in here and I'll have to mute myself. Chiba versus Hatsumi. I guess it's a little better than Nezu, because an actual fight kinda happens. It's mostly just Chiba starts off with the worst decision possible, which is to try and do a fucking finger hold against an Aikido master. What the fuck?
He got full of himself, transferring between like 5 different styles. His
Yeah.
entire strategy was let's fuck up with his brain so he loses his footing.
Jesus.
How often does the strategy work of I'm gonna seem more intimidating than I am and still fight him?
Not. It doesn't really work.
Should we invite Jobber Tradings to the call since he's in the
Does
chat?
Jobber want to join in?
He's in Kengan. He's talking in Kengan Omega channel
on.
right now.
Wait, is he in here?
I
Yo.
mean, no, he's in the Discord server.
Yeah,
talking
I'm looking.
about-
Let me ask him.
Alright.
Hold on. Jobber, are you willing and able to join the VC? Jobber does a little bit of trolling, so I don't know how serious he would be about a stream discussion. I'll give him the podcast role just in case, so he can see the VC.
Oh, you
I
didn't
trust
have it
Jobber
already?
enough not to come in here and start like blasting a bunch of bullshit. That's the main reason there's a role for the stream VC. Is you need to be someone I can somewhat trust.
There was a lot of people in this VC yesterday.
Yes,
Yeah,
there
Pokemon
were,
tournament.
because we were doing the Pokemon tournament.
Ironically, yesterday was the anniversary of the Pokemon server I helped make.
Hey, that is a coincidence. Hanafusa versus Bando. That's another one of the good ones. Through sheer creativity, though, Bando... Actually, both of these is just like, hey, do you want to know how absurd the characters in this series are gonna get?
Yeah.
Look at these
Let me
two
put that
fucking
next here.
freaks.
I want to put that in A tier.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's
Do I want to put it?
Hanafus's only fight.
Yeah, true. I think I'll put it above the Meguro fight.
Bone blades,
Bone
flexibility.
blades, I can survive being killed. That's the
Oh
dumbest
my
thing
God.
from that fight, is I've modified my body so that if it just so happens my neck is broken really severely, you can just pop it back in place.
Well, he clarified that he basically just has a souped-up pacemaker in his chest to keep his heart beating.
Christ's sake. Wouldn't he still be dead, though, if his brain activity stopped?
Well, your brain activity can stop for 13 minutes before you can actually be revived without serious brain damage.
Holy shit. I didn't actually know.
my
People have, like, drowned and then come back, like, 8 minutes later.
Well, I know people have been, like, straight up dead and then have been revived. So, I know it's not totally impossible.
I mean, if his heart was still beating, his brain should have still been getting blood, just not any nerves.
Yeah, I guess so. Kaneda versus Gao Lang. Good, just because of Kaneda's line, "What's wrong with the weak wanting to be strong?"
That's the entire point of martial arts.
Indeed. That's another... Okay, as you guys may be seeing here, based on the, Actually, for the round 1 at least, it seems like the first bracket had more of the better fights. Because you had Seki versus Kyozan, you had Mutaba versus Meguro, and you had... Actually, you know what, they're about even because of this fight we're about to rank right here. Okubo versus Agito.
Yes.
I would probably
Strategy.
put that just above or below the Bando fight. That's a tough one.
And it...
Because that's basically Okubo's only serious fight that we've seen, and it's the first fight we get for Agito, and it's really good. And also the grappling choreography is excellent. It was seemingly the best thing to happen in the anime was the choreography for this fight.
I actually watched 3 different martial artists and
break
2
it
different
down,
doctors.
and they said that basically, like, yeah, this is accurate if it was amateurs doing it.
Well, some of them said that, like, the actual grappling in Gito versus Okubo was, like, high-level grappling realistically.
Oh, I've seen someone say a lot of times with, like, the, mounts, they're very amateurishly done. You don't sit on, like, a dude's fucking hips, because they'll just buck you off, which is what Agito does. You want to sit on, like, their chest. That's
Yeah.
one of the ones I remember most. But
then
I'll
again,
have
if
to
he
check
did
out
that,
more.
Agito could probably kick him in the back of the head.
Yeah, probably. But that's a good fight. It shows that, hey, Okubo's actually the strongest of the 4 idiots. Like, the most
also-
competent out of all of them. And
It
also,
almost
Agito's
says
a
that
goddamn
right at the
monster.
beginning. Remember that?
What was it?
Right at the beginning of the fight, Oma says, "Yeah, I knew he was the strongest out of those 4 guys."
Oh, I don't actually remember that. Well, yeah.
And then they go on a tangent about, you can always throw a lucky punch in a boxing match, but grappling is all about experience. There is no accidental good grapple.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. I couldn't accidentally get someone into a good chokehold, but I could probably accidentally knock someone out.
Yeah. How about how he, like, quit wrestling and then got into boxing, and then he quit boxing, got MMA, but he was practicing all 3 the entire time.
Why have I been pinged on the Chainsaw Man server? Hold on, I need to check this. Every time they ping me,
It's
it
nothing.
may be something important.
Literally nothing. Literally nothing.
The
by the
anime
way.
announcement, I don't know.
It's the fucking... It's
One
the
shot.
cover for his short stories.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Actually, fine, you're in there, so I assume if it was something you'd be screaming right now, so... By the way, one of you, make sure to keep eyes on the chat, because I'm not able to check it constantly while doing this.
I am.
Okay, good. Yeah, let me know if you see
No one's
something really good that I should
no one
focus
said
on.
anything in a bit, actually.
Actually, wait, we just finished round 1, so I'm comfortable with just looking over the chat for a minute to see if there's anything really good. Shadow King, so why do Kuroki's fights always got the best art? Wish we got more brushstroke style in Omega. That's what we're missing. Not enough brushstrokes. You get like 1 or 2
Is that
panels
Shadow
once in a
King the
while.
translator?
Yes, he is.
Oh, good job.
We don't get enough brush strokes in the art. It doesn't look as flowing. It all looks much more stagnant, much more static than the static. Is that there? I don't fucking remember. It all looks way more like it's not moving than the art in Ashura. In Ashura, you can really feel a lot of the movement and the weight and the impact with a lot of the stuff it has. We've gotten a few good panels like that in this fight so far, but I feel like it's kind of been sorely missing in a lot of Omega.
I almost feel like they do this metaphor where they keep drawing Kuroki with the brushstrokes to signify that he's the most traditional martial artist here.
Probably. I mean, they did that when Falcon was describing Kuroki. He was literally drawn like a painting.
Yeah, like, this is what old Japanese art used to look like, and this is what an old Japanese martial artist looks like.
MJL said, I'm so glad someone mentioned this. Mentioned what?
It was when we were talking about Seki versus Kyozan.
Oh yeah, that fight's great. It's a fucking outstanding fight.
We were talking about, like, what he said and the power bomb and all that.
Yeah. Skin said, worst fight in Kengan. Which one? The Nezu fight? That was about 10 minutes ago, so I'm gonna assume that one.
I cannot see timestamps for these messages.
I think that's just a benefit of me looking at this through Studio, is I can see when people sent the messages. 16 viewers, 18 likes. Nice, we're doing very good. By the way, since there are quite a few people in here, if you're feeling extra generous, you're always welcome to drop a donation in the super chat. You can donate however much you want, I don't really give a shit. Or if you want to get access to some extra content, get shoutouts at the start of videos, and just help support me and the channel directly, you can always check out the Patreon. There's a link to that down in the description. Okay, let's get back to the tier list with the longest stretch of amazing shit in the tournament. Round 2. Let's start.
Oh boy.
Cosmo versus Okoye. Tell me.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
This.
Where does this go? Does this go high A or low S?
I'd say high
It's
A.
really fucking good.
High A, I'd say.
I put it in A. I love, like, the thing they did with, like, the foreshadowing, like, flash into the future. But realistically, Okoye could have won the fight, like,
Okoye
3
super
minutes
could have
in.
won if he wasn't being an insane
A
asshole.
sadistic ass.
Yeah, that's the important thing. Also,
Like I said, it's all about the mindset.
right, and my god, do they do a great job at making Okoye terrifying during this fight.
Yeah.
He
And
is
who doesn't
genuinely
love-
a fucking monster during this fight.
Who doesn't love that moment? I like winning!
The I like winning is great. It's a great character moment. Also, why didn't people say it was pretentious when What's-His-Face said Okoye had stared too long into the abyss? No, that's a perfectly fitting line for that. Because that was what happened to Okoye, is he got in too deep.
Okoye is Batman who went over the deep end.
Right. He's
the Punisher.
He's one of those
He's the
Elseworld
Punisher.
versions of Batman.
There's actually a what-if version of the Punisher where his family died in a different way and he joined the police or something, and then he just became the Punisher anyway.
Then what the
That's
fuck's
what
the point
Okoye
of the
is.
story if he becomes the Punisher anyway? Or was that just like Ultimate Universe or something?
It's a, Marvel what-if.
Yeah.
What if instead of the Mafia killing his family, I think it was his family being killed by corrupt cops while he was a policeman or something.
Oh! Okay, no, you see, that's different. That's a little different.
And then he basically becomes Okoye,
Cool.
but with guns.
Well, yeah, anyway, Okoye versus Cosmo is a great fight. That's, like, the best way to start off round 2 was with that fucking fight.
Also, something that got completely left out of the anime is Cosmo's poor choice of not wearing a shirt and his back getting all scratched up and bloody.
It's interesting how much strategy plays into this fight.
Well,
Is Cosmo's
he was
decision,
really just trying the mind games.
the pros and cons of not wearing a shirt, Cosmo's strategy for tricking Okoye into getting into a position where he could grapple him using the ref, Okoye's mindset being bad, the resolve to fight someone in a battle where you could die, and what happens when you don't have that resolve. It's good. It's
Yeah,
good
like,
shit. It's like you can tell Cosmo is way too green behind the ears. Is that
this
the right
isn't a
word?
game.
Yeah,
That was
like
basically
Cosmo.
it.
This is Cosmo realizing for the first time, Kengan matches are serious shit.
Yeah, so Java won't be coming.
Uh-oh. Oh, he won't?
You haven't
Oh,
seen-
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, he's busy.
Oh, well, I think we're doing alright so far. MJ says,
He's
I was
like,
so
it just
legitimately
occurred to me.
panicked for Cosmo. Yeah, a Cosmo could have died during that. Well, like, I feel like that was one of the fights where someone was more at risk of dying than almost any other fight. Because
Okoye
Okoye was
such
gonna
a
kill him.
dick.
He was gonna fucking kill him. Yeah, except for the one where the fighters did kind of die as a result of it.
Like, he wouldn't let him surrender. He wouldn't let him pass out. He wouldn't kill him.
He was gonna torture him to death. Yeah.
Very slowly.
Very fucking slowly.
Also, the revelations about he has soft skin.
Yeah.
And the referee being like, I can never stop a match in the middle and ruin a company's career without being 100% sure he can't win.
Man, and people give Alyssa shit for how she runs these matches. The refs, like the ref in this fight, as much as I understand what he's saying, totally fucking useless, except for as a blind spot for Okoye.
But then Cosmo did win, so his choice was correct.
Yeah, his choice was correct in the end, but like Cosmo could have died if he didn't step in.
Here's a what-if scenario. How do you think Okoye would have done in round 3?
I don't know actually.
He would have fight Oma, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's a really good question actually. I don't know. What do you guys in the
Iron
chat think?
Breaker versus Stance of Defense.
I'd say,
That is a good question. I don't know. I'll have
be
to
a
think
cool
about
fight.
that.
I don't think he would have won, but I think he might have put up
probably
more of
would have
a
put up a
all-rounder fight than
Better
Cosmo
fight
did.
than Cosmo did.
yeah.
Next fight. S tier. First S tier. One of the best fights in Ashura. Kure Ryan versus Oma.
Oh
was
yeah, the art in that fight was amazing.
Amazing. Oh my god. The reason Ryan versus Allen is so god awful is because it could have been this fight again.
Yeah, exactly.
And it wasn't. They decided to have Allen get ripped open like a fucking bag of chips. Now maybe Ryan's fight against Eddie, if it's not fucking off screen, which I still think is a big possibility, could be this fight again. Maybe.
So gonna be off screen.
I love how everyone in the series progressively keeps upping up how much they shit on Zia G.
I know. And it all starts with Koga's kick. Direct contact with the jobber aura. All downhill from there.
But also something to consider about this fight, we know for a fact neither of them were even close to being at their best.
Right. Oma
And then they
hadn't remembered all of
sparred
his techniques
100
yet.
times in a row off screen.
Yeah. And remember, guys, Ryan lost because he's an idiot. It was literally, Ario was like, why the fuck aren't you using Kure techniques, you goddamn moron?
Why are you using removal instead of your actual training?
Because he just likes it more.
And then Ryan was getting character development at the end,
Which
growing
was good.
a
It
respect
was
for
good
Oma.
moments for Ryan.
Also,
And the idea,
He was
the
enjoying
idea,
losing for the first time in his life.
the idea
I'll tell
for
you,
Ryan, where it's
remember.
like being the strongest is not something that he has to strive for, like for everyone else. He just is. He just has always been the strongest.
Rust Radish says Fresh Okoye versus Injured Oma would have been pretty close.
Yeah, I fucking would have. Oh god, you know what? Now that I think about that, if that fight happened, I'm actually fairly confident Oma wouldn't have lasted long enough to land Demon's Bane in his fight with Waka.
I would have liked to see Okoye versus Kiryu between like the Fallen Demon and Blink versus the Super Reflexes.
But the thing about Super Reflex, as we've seen a couple times, if it comes out of your blind spot, you can't react to it.
Okoye has never been overpowered by someone else who isn't just better at the thing that he's the best at.
That's true. And also, Rakshasa's Palm is one of the most hacked abilities in the series. Like, if you're not stupidly durable, if you get hit with it, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Which he is.
Right.
It might break his arm, though.
Right. Yeah, that fucking... Actually, Oma versus Ryan has a really good, clear 3-act structure. I think more so than just about any other fights.
This is my Nico style.
My Nico style. Get fucked, Ryan. And I like that it's also a factor that, like, Ryan can't use removal anymore either. He's too exhausted. So they both beat the shit out of each other in the middle
He wasn't holding back anymore. He just couldn't do it.
Right. That one's great.
Also, Oma gets his memories back.
Correct. Alright, another S-tier fight. Wakatsuki versus Julius.
Yes.
Oh.
It's just a pure fucking bare-knuckle fight between two goddamn monsters. The man born a monster versus the man who surpassed monsters. That's a good-ass way to introduce two fighters. The man who surpassed monsters is still one of the coolest descriptions I've ever seen for a character introduction.
Especially when Julius just starts fucking ramming.
Oh, the end of that fight is so amazing. It's so over the top. It's great. Like, just
if they saying that's gonna leave a mark, I'm like, you have no fucking idea.
As someone pointed out, part of what makes this fight so great is that it's really different from all the other fights, and that there's like barely any commentary or narration compared to the other fights. At least, like, with a lot of the other ones, you have a lot of explanation of technique and strategy. Whereas for this, no, it's just them beating the shit out of each other, and then Waka has to use Blast Core. So we explain Blast Core, and then we get like a little bit of strategy from Julius, and then it's just bloodbath. And then tactics decide the fight. It's a great fight. I think that's probably one of the highest diff victories in the tournament. One of them, at least. I mean, Waka got half his fucking face scraped off for it.
Yeah.
To be fair, a lot of Waka fights, every time he fights somebody, it comes down to only landing like 2 or 3 hits when the fight's over.
He's just that strong.
Yeah.
On both parts, usually.
Yeah.
Whoever lands more hits, though, usually doesn't do anything to him.
Okay. Now this
Also, I love Elena being like, this is like Mokichi showed me as a child.
This is like a fucking
It's like watching
movie.
kaiju.
These guys are monsters. Alright. Now here's a fight here where I like it, but I don't think I like it as much as a lot of other people do. Because I know a lot of people fucking love Seki versus Muteba. I've seen quite a few people say it's either the best or among the best in the series. I like it. I don't know if I like it that much, and I don't know why.
I just like it because it's Muteba and Seki, basically the two coolest characters.
Is it because it's mostly centered around eye poking?
No.
I mean, the eye poking.
I mean, why he doesn't like it as much?
Oh, I actually have no idea. I think the eye poking thing is neat. I like how Seki being a pro wrestler plays into that. I like it. I just don't know why it doesn't hit me as hard as some of the other fights I have in S tier. I don't know what it is. I'm missing something.
Fun fact.
There's something I'm not getting.
I'm pretty sure his makeup in that fight is based on the wrestler Sting, and I actually met him like a week ago.
Oh, really? That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrestlers at conventions if you go around here.
Let's see, what do the people in the chat think?
They think Cosmo is going to be too much of a prodigy, and they might be overpowering him.
I'll have Seki versus Muteba as very high A tier. Because, let's see, how many fights do I have left that I would put in S tier? 1, 2...
Don't spoil it!
Oh, no, I'm not saying how many. I'm just kind of thinking out loud a little bit. Okay. At least 2. And then some I'm thinking about. I'll see how the other fights stack up, and then we'll see. We'll see. Okay, next we have Sawpang versus Ray. That's a pretty good fight. It's pretty good.
I put that as one of my favorites. In my opinion, that would be S tier.
Really? Why
Because
do you like
it's
it
two
so much?
guys who come against their natural counter enemy,
True.
which you almost never see. They're both fighting their own perfect counter and trying to overcome it, their great weakness.
That's true. It's high A. I'll put it between the Kyozan and Okubo fights. It's pretty good. It's a good one.
It's also the epitome of unstoppable force versus immovable object.
An excellent matchup. Next, what do we have here? Kuroki versus Kiryu. This fight, I'm gonna be real with you.
fight.
I think this is an S tier fight for me.
It's really good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
okay.
good
So the
fight.
choreography is fucking great. It's really cool to see Kuroki, after having beaten one of the weakest characters in the tournament, go up against the main rival character who we haven't really seen go all out yet. And it's just really fucking cool to see what happens when that goes down. It basically goes to show how Kuroki is able to respond to almost any situation he's in.
I really should reread some of the fights in Ashura. I don't
Also,
really
you realize
with Kiryu.
how many of the fights in the first 2 rounds were like a false alarm for, oh no, he's dead at the end.
Yeah,
There was Nikaido, Kiryu, Bondo, Hanafusa,
Mokichi,
Mokichi.
Gozo.
All of them like, oh no, he's dead, and then he's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that fight's just fucking great. Also,
Personal stakes.
Kuroki just doesn't give a shit about your shonen power-ups. He doesn't care. Fuck off.
Personal stakes. Backstory.
Yep. I cannot be defeated with improvisations. Get that shit out of here. Get the fuck
Kuroki
out
was
of here.
friends with everybody's master.
That seems to be part of why Kuroki is so good, is he just knows everyone. The guy's
He
been
got
around
connections.
a lot. Guy's been around the block a few times.
He knew Genzan and Nico, and then they killed each other.
Yeah, that must have been a little awkward.
Sort of.
A little awkward.
I
Okay, next.
don't know why Genzan wanted to kill Nico in the first place.
Yeah, wasn't it like fucking Kiryu tricked him into it somehow or something? I don't remember.
Tiger Nico tricked Kiryu into tricking Genzan into it.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Next.
Everything comes back to Tiger Nico.
Hatsumi versus Bando. Another really good fight. Hatsumi is the best during this fight. He is so fucking funny.
Yes.
Hatsumi.
That image of him sweating his ass off.
Oh, that fucking panel of him running around looking so nervous. Hatsumi is great for a few reasons, and that he is among one of the most normal people in the tournament. Like him, funnily enough, Waka seems like a really normal person, at least in terms of personality. And Hatsumi just seems like kind of a really normal, chill dude dealing with a bunch of fucking insane people.
He's always talking about what a pain in the ass.
Oh, I love. We'll get into that when we get to round 3, but I love some of his lines during his fight with Kano.
Oh yeah, also, the thing about, like, you thought that was all Bondo could do was just turn his head upside down? Fuck you, he can do this too!
Also, when Hatsumi gets the upper hand in that fight finally, like when everything comes full circle, it's so good. Everything was going just as Bando had planned up until this moment. Hey, since when have I had 3 joints here? Wait a second.
You should
Since
check
when
the
was I
chat real
triple
quick.
jointed? Oh shit. And that goddamn bone breaking that Hatsumi does. Good God.
I bet Kureishi loved that.
Oh, Kureishi was fucking coming. Oh my God.
I didn't know if I could say that.
I can say that. Don't worry about it.
Look at the chat real quick.
Oh God. Hold on, it's loading in. What Rust Radish said about Julius versus Waka being the best fight in the Annihilation tournament?
I mean, all the messages after that came in rapid succession.
Oh shit. Okay, that one or was it that one or the ones after?
We were talking about the fights with what we were just talking about with Kuroki and Kiryu.
Oh, it was hype to see. Kiryu keeps escalating everything, so you're wondering if he's actually the one being built up instead of Kuroki? It's a fair question, I guess. It is, because Kiryu is the main rival character now. So you're wondering, is this to show that, like, Kuroki is actually one of the biggest contenders for winning, that he can actually beat someone as strong as Kiryu? Or is this to show off that, like, yeah, Kiryu is someone that Oma will probably meet in the finals?
I could have been a contender!
Holy shit, we have 20 viewers in here now. Nice. Hello, everyone. How are you? I haven't had this many people in on a stream in a while. Cool.
That's nice. I noticed looking back through your videos, most of the streams end up with 100 or 200 views.
Yeah, some of my earlier ones did really well, but in more recent times they haven't, because I think most of them have just basically just been me sitting around talking to people on the Discord.
In my opinion, streams get more traction if you put in the title what it's actually about.
Yeah, generally. That's probably why this one's doing so well. And also, really, for a lot of them, it's just me doing random shit. Doing, like, random, like, fucking food tier lists and stuff.
Oh. I say, if you have a focus, you will draw an audience.
Yeah, I mean, that
I
was
just finished a
kind of what
class on
happened.
marketing.
Like, one of the last streams I remember doing really well was the one where I was like, hey, if you guys have any, like, spooky, weird fucking stories, like, weird supernatural shit that happened to you, tell me. I want to know. Okay,
Yeah, the stream just having a unique title alone will immediately draw more people.
yeah, MJ says, what makes Kuroki so great is that his special ability is just being a better martial artist than you. Yes, everyone has, like, all of this crazy bullshit. Rahito has a dumb gimmick, Kiryu has dumb anime powers, Rei has dumb anime powers, Agito has a gimmick that's really strong, but it's still a gimmick. What's Kuroki's gimmick? Oh, he's really good at karate. Like, he's better than anyone at karate.
His gimmick is training.
His gimmick is that he's trained for fucking decades and has more experience than just about anyone in this whole fucking arena.
Even Waka didn't actually do any training until he was like in his late 20s.
Yeah, because he didn't need to.
Yeah, he just punch.
He's just that strong. If Waka,
He just walks up and smacks people.
If Waka dedicated more time to learning techniques, he would be godly. He would be so...
He did learn the kick.
I don't have... Ace, have you read The Boxer, the webtoon?
No, I have not. But I've seen a couple videos about it. Mainly just like how strong is the main character.
It's really good. It's a really good series. It's kind of like One Punch
I remember
Man.
at the end of your videos, you saying you can get reviews if you become a patron.
Yeah, I have reviews on the Patreon. I have reviews for it on there. Because doing webtoon reviews on here, like on YouTube, is generally not the best idea. You will probably get copyright striked if you're not, like, stupidly careful. And then I see some people that just, like, read whole fucking chapters without getting copyright striked. I have no idea how the fuck that happens. I tried doing solo leveling reviews on here, like, a year ago. They got copyright strike for the fucking thumbnails having panels in them.
You ever watch Tekken 101?
Yeah, I watch Tekken.
He had to stop putting panels in the videos at all unless they were completely, like, colored over because he was afraid of copyright after a certain point.
That's what I do now. For, like, a month or two, I mostly just did fan art because I got copyright striked twice within, like, a week or two back in May. So I had to almost completely stop using panels. Now what I do is I use, like, 1 or 2 colored panels for, like, Jujutsu reviews.
I noticed that.
And for Kengan, they don't seem to really give a shit that much. Just put like 2, maybe 3 at the most, and slap a filter over it, and you'll probably be fine.
My introduction to your channel was listening to the entire Kengan Omega chapter review playlist in like 2 or 3 days.
Nice! I don't know how many people have done that for my playlists. Haven't they gotten a lot better recently?
And then I did Record of Ragnarok too.
God, aren't a lot of my early videos just not good? A lot of the early ones are just not very good. At least in hindsight for me, I'm kind of like, ugh. They seem much more low energy.
If you wanted me to, like, make a criticism of the early Kengan Omega reviews...
Yeah, it was basically just me reading the chapter.
No, it was actually, like, more of the opposite. Like in the early second part of the tournament, it was more like, instead of talking about what exactly happens in the fight, it was more about what aspect of this fight either you really liked or was really annoying to you.
Ah, I see.
When I watch your review, it used to be like, this is me, a supplement for even reading the chapters. That's what a really good review is.
Ah. Interesting. I try to do a bit of both now.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see.
Anyway, next fight.
Oh, right. The band, yeah, Hatsumi versus Bando. I put this somewhere in A tier. Pretty good.
Yeah, me too. It was fun.
I'll put it
Also, remember how long they were building up? Is Bando actually dead or not?
yeah, because he got poisoned, or he got poisoned with the virus, and then it was like, nope.
It was literally like
Psych.
40 or 50 chapters of never showing his face, and just being like, I wonder who their fighter is going to be.
Mm. Okay. End of round 2. Obviously S tier, but where? Agito versus Gao Lang. Where do I put this in S tier? Top of S tier
A lot of
or
people
low
would
S
say
tier?
it's top 3.
I think it is, yeah. I'm not sure. Okay, I think I may have this just below Oma versus Ryan. It's great. I fucking love. I need to find where Grando has his Google Drive full of his videos. I need to watch that MMV again. It's so good. There are a few of his, like his Agito versus Kuroki one I don't care for that much. Mostly because I saw Amias D's one way before then, and that's probably one of his best videos. Which, I actually do have that on his Google Drive. So that one is outstanding. So that one just kind of ruined it for me. Was just because I saw, like, the best MMV channel I've seen doing it. But his Agito versus Gowling one is fantastic. It's so good.
One of the best pages in the series, possibly. You're about to see something even better than
You're
that.
about to see something beyond that. This fight
By
has
the way,
so many good panels and pages. Actually,
you know skin intelligence?
yes, Skin. Is Skin saying normal shit or stupid shit in the chat?
Being savage towards you.
Oh, watch Misc's
And
early
agreeing
videos.
with you.
Yeah, some of my really early stuff is just like, ugh. I'm glad I had an excuse to take down my first Ragnarok videos, because the copyright stuff, I literally just filled the videos with fucking panels and pages. Yeah, not good at all. Because those were like literally the first videos I did on the channel. Not very good. Not very good at all. But fortunately, I think I've improved a little bit since then. So I've gotten a little better. Yeah, Skin, it is easy top 3, that fight. Yeah.
You know, some people might get confused between making a video about the early translation summary and then a video about the full translated chapter
Yeah,
as well.
that's what I did originally, but then I was like, God damn. I started with when Naidan was revealed to be a worm member. That was the first time I did one with just the rough translation. Because I was like, I need to do the video right fucking now. And now everyone does it with the rough translation. Or, well, not everyone, but like Shrift does it. And
And a lot of people miss out on the stuff that you can only get from the full translation and little text.
Unfortunately. But for the most part, I think Shadow King usually includes the most important stuff in the in the summary. At least the stuff to do a whole review on. It's enough.
Yeah. I read the summary and then I watch the video and I'm like, huh.
Because the good thing about a fighting manga is, for the most part, except for when you're explaining a technique or something, or an important plot point, it's mostly visual. When I talk about a chapter, most of it's like what's happening in the fight. So just the visuals usually make that easy enough, and then the summary translation helps to fill in the gaps.
If you ever want like some extra input, I've spent a lot of time just reading up on martial arts to understand stuff like this.
Cool. Well, you're welcome to share some insights whenever that's important in a chapter. I would certainly use that for a review.
Well, you know C-Lot, which Misasa uses?
Yeah.
It has 107 different variations and forms.
What the fuck?
Silat is the most versatile martial art on the planet as far as just how many different versions there are of it. The elbow thing that he did, that's like 1/13 of his skill set, probably.
Oh my god.
If you want to see like the ultimate Silat, Pennek Silat master, that was in Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple. One of the major villains was like, I have Supreme Silat! I've combined every form! Of course, in Kenichi, they're a bit power scaled to superhuman, to where
Right,
they're literally standing on the side of a wall by kicking their feet into the stone.
Jesus. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, anything important from the chat before we get into the quarterfinals? Let's have a look. Beast Titan's basically saying Lolong's the best. We'll find out. We're gonna find out pretty soon. I don't know
As
if he's
long
gonna be
as no one
stronger
says
than
Eddie
Faye.
Solos.
Oh god. Well, we're gonna find out if Lolong is somehow stronger than Faye. I think it's a possibility, but I've also always thought that, like, yeah, Lolong's probably the strongest member of the team other than maybe the Tiger's Vessel. So I wouldn't be shocked if Faye actually is stronger than Lolong. Though we haven't really seen any reactions from Lolong, which is a bit disappointing, so I don't know. Kind of feels
that
like the
new
guy
extra
you
thing
would
that
want
just
reacting
came
to this shit, but who knows, maybe that's just me.
I got linked to that new extra chapter about Kim.
Oh, it's hilarious, and
Kim
he's
Jang-gi.
pissed because he can tell everyone has no idea who he is.
And then, like, I read it backwards because of how stupid that link was. I thought the pages were in the other order. But it ends with Lolong himself not being sure who that guy is.
Oh, is it? I thought he was pissed because he knew everyone else didn't know who it was.
He was the one who said his name in the first place, and then after everyone's, like, staring at each other intently, because they have, like, 6 guys named Kim, Lolong himself is just, like, thinking his name with a question mark.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then we see Toyota cheering him on, like, I'm sure you'll get a chance soon, son. He's like, I'm a newbie.
I wonder, that's weird that they... I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's interesting they introduced him in a volume extra.
And they just showed off, like, 4 other A-list gladiators offhand.
I mean, it's neat, I guess. It kind of fleshes out Purgatory a little more, but...
Swedish sumo wrestler with a boyish face.
Oh my god. Alright, time for the quarterfinals, the weakest part of the tournament. We start off with Oma versus Cosmo. I don't really have much to say about this fight.
I reread it, and my main thought while reading is like, this feels longer than it is.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about that. You'll find...
It's mostly just, who's on top at this very moment? That was what the fight was.
For most of these fights here, I'm just kind of like, eh.
It was nice how they kept pointing out, like, while Cosmo did stop fucking around, he was actually playing with Oma by letting him get out of grapples and then immediately putting him back into it.
Yeah.
Just to flex on him.
Next, we have Muteba versus Wakatsuki. Does Muteba forfeiting hurt the fight? Because I've seen people who don't like this because of that. Whereas for me, I'm like, oh, that's neat. I guess Muteba would do that,
I see more fights that don't end in a knockout. I want to see more fights that don't end in a knockout.
That would be interesting. This fight is probably like bottom B tier for me. Not the V bottom, but like kind of lower B tier.
Yeah. Mainly because they never really addressed the fact that his heart jab might not even work on him.
Right. Actually, yeah, that kind of ends up being more of a mid B tier fight. Anyway. Kuroki versus Ray. Not really much. I mean, it's cool to see Kuroki get surprised by something, and then the end of the fight's super satisfying because he fucking obliterates Ray with the... That's like a no... He didn't even really punch. He was just... Oh, he just put his fist in front of himself because he knew Ray was going to run right into it.
Though he did break half his fingers again.
Right, he does that.
I like how it was like he was training Ray.
It was neat, yeah.
And we get more of Ray's backstory.
More than... certainly more than that one. Yeah, kind of mid. Okay, the fights in round 3 aren't bad, it's just a lot of them are just kind of okay.
I mean, out of round 3, Kuroki versus Ray might be my favorite of those.
Alright, now... Maybe
Also, he never used the Devil Lance in that fight.
Oh, right, he didn't. Well, I think he tried to start, and
No,
then, oh, my fingers broke. Well, guess I'm not using that for this.
At the time, he was just holding his hand out like he does later, but the Simp Boost overcame it.
The Simp Boost. The power of love. Get that shit
Ray's
out of
ultimate
here.
power buff.
The power of love. Get that shit out of here. That's got nothing on the power of martial arts.
And then he was like, he was the fastest person in this building right now. But Kuroki can predict him.
Yep, that's simple. Okay, now maybe the most controversial match of this round. Agito versus Hatsumi. Hatsumi gets washed in this fight. Because Agito changes his fucking fighting style.
Well, Hatsumi is the man who is able to defeat Waka, besides Agito.
Yeah. Well, at the very
This is
least,
the only two
Agito-
people to ever beat Waka fighting each other.
Agito did change his fighting style to something Hatsumi was not prepared for. And that was also apparently a bad matchup for him. So Hatsumi is weak to hard styles, but he also fucking hard counters Waka. How the fuck does that work?
No, he's weak to super short range offense, I think.
Ah, I see.
He's weak to
Gowling's
someone
not
who
su-
can
okay.
kick him from like farther away than he can reach, and also punch him at full force when he's grabbing him.
Ace, do you understand the Hatsumi versus Gowling thing? I never got into that shit.
I think it's mostly just about how different the difficulties of those fights were for Agito. People debate who could win between Gowling and Hatsumi.
Like, do
Because
people...
Agito didn't get any stronger, he just completely changed his mindset.
Right.
And the reason it was so hard against Gowling is because he spent 2/3 of that fight just trying to fuck with him.
Yeah, even if Gowling kind of hard counters Hatsumi, maybe. I think Hatsumi's still stronger than Gowling overall. When he's in peak condition.
Oh, someone is asking, what if Okoye versus Ryan, and someone else Waka versus Ryan?
If Okoye fights Ryan, he gets beaten to death, because even if he can react to what Ryan does, Ryan's just going to break him down. And for Ryan versus Waka,
Oma did clearly say that Waka had more strength than Ryan.
yeah.
And so did
despite
the
what
narrator.
Agito said. Whatever the fuck Agito said.
Agito said Ryan could probably beat Waka, but we know Waka had more physical strength than Ryan.
Yeah, and the thing is with Ryan, if he fights someone that's physically stronger than him, he's not gonna fucking use techniques, because he's an idiot. So I think Ryan would still probably lose to Waka, because he would try to outstrength Waka, and it wouldn't work.
He started using them against guys with weapons.
Right.
2-on-1.
Right, but Waka doesn't have a weapon, so... When Ryan's in a fight, he barely uses them, except for when... Yeah, because he didn't consider his fight with Alan a fight. It was just, get out of my fucking way, bitch. Get out of my way.
I've seen multiple people say that Hatsumi is stronger than Misasa because he lost to Agito better than Misasa beat Yumi, who is also a Fang. And like, that's a very confusing belief.
Yumi is kind of shit, though. He's the weakest Fang. So...
Yes, but being a Fang itself should be an automatic S tier.
Supposed to be kind of impressive, but now Yumi... Now when people say, oh, someone's on par with the Fang, their response is, yeah, so is Yumi, apparently. And
Hatsumi was going to be the fifth Fang.
Yeah, Hatsumi was the candidate to be the fifth Fang, and then it didn't happen. So Hatsumi apparently is strong enough, but apparently also Yumi's strong enough to become a Fang, so I don't fucking know.
I think Metsudo was just like, this guy, he seems really prodigious, he seems really rebellious. I'm picking him more because of his potential than his current level. And then as soon as he got picked, he's like, fuck my potential, I already got the spot, I'm not going to stop training now. I'm just going to chum up with guys and take their skills.
Yeah, okay, I'm thinking...
Mostly about imitating weapons.
I agree with Guy in the chat. Hatsumi versus Agito's probably low B.
I liked it a bit more than that, but I understand it was very one-sided, and that's never very fun.
Let's see. MJ says people say, well, he... Alright. MJ says people, well, he thought he was going against the Kana who fought Gowling, but it's like, shouldn't Hatsumi be able to adapt enough to be able to put on a better fight? I don't know, actually. I mean, we know he
Agito got
went
through
into...
that because he fought the fourth Fang before the fight.
Yeah.
He got a
Jobber
lesson.
says Yumi's character profile confirmed Matsudo picked him for his potential. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, right, and then when he joined Purgatory, he decided, fuck training, I'm just gonna be an asshole.
All he wanted was the status of the position of Fang, and then he's like, I'm content, I'm complacent now.
What a prick. Anyway, Oma versus Kiryu. I don't remember this fight being super remarkable. Like, it was neat, it was kind of cool, but I don't remember anything, like, super crazy from it.
I read it last night, again.
And?
Half of the fight is the full reveal of Oma's full backstory and Kiryu's the remaining backstory. And the other half is Kiryu swapping back and forth between Nico style and Koei style, and Oma being like, I'm going to defeat you with nothing but the Nico style to show you that it's not some evil thing, and I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to save you in any way that I can and not hate you for this.
Yeah.
But Kiryu did pull out like a lot of cool stuff in that fight and try to counter Oma, but Oma was one step ahead the whole time.
Yeah.
Like using adamantine to overcome the twist.
Right. I'll probably put this also like low B tier. Okay.
But a lot of it was Kiryu just insanely ranting about Nico being alive.
Right. Okay. First match of the semifinals, Oma versus Waka. This fight is basically Waka beats the shit out of Oma until Oma successfully lands Demon's Bane and wins.
He did land Demon Bane twice.
Yeah, the first time it didn't really work. He didn't...
It was exactly like the first time Waka landed Blast Core on Julius.
It didn't really work as well.
It was even in the same area of the body, sort of.
Yeah.
And he's like, what was that? I'm going to be cautious of it now. I don't really understand it. Oh, no!
Yeah. I don't know, what do you think of it? I'm kind of like, it's pretty good, I guess.
Low A tier?
Sure.
You get to see Oma fight someone who actually outclasses him like Ryan, even when Oma's at his best. Which I think just goes to show that Waka probably could have beat Ryan if Ryan wasn't using techniques.
Right.
Because Oma was way better in round 4 than he was in round 2, but he had a much harder time against Waka.
Yeah. Alright, Ace. I need you to do something here. Convince me. Give me any kind of argument that Agito versus Kuroki is not the best fight in the series.
Well, there's only one fight after it.
Yeah. Well, unless there is any fight that I've ranked before this that you think should be higher than Agito versus Kuroki.
Oh. It's hard to say otherwise. I mean, Hiroki just continuing his steam train of plot armor, fuck you. Plot armor, fuck you. Younger than me, fuck you. You've trained less than I have, fuck you. I stab you. You break my finger, I stab you with broken finger. Agito trying to adapt constantly. And then, I never understood, like, how he got that scar on his forehead at the end, but that was really cool how it ended.
He got the scar on his forehead because apparently Kuroki punched him in the head so hard that his fucking skull split open, basically.
Usually doing that breaks your hand.
Yeah, usually, yes, but, karate partial training.
It was actually very reminiscent of how he beat Gao Lang.
A little, yeah.
When they're both, like, falling unconscious, being like, I can't believe this is happening.
The back and forth between this fight is excellent. It is basically, for all intents and purposes at least, Kuroki and Agito are pretty much the two strongest characters in the tournament, except maybe Oma.
I wish we got to see more people fighting in their peak condition.
Right. You basically have the two strongest characters fighting each other. They're complete masters. You see the back and forth. It feels like a battle between two people that are top of the verse, pretty much.
Pre-initiative.
Yeah. And the end of the fight is great. Like, the end of the fight is perfect, pretty much. It's Agito loses for the first time ever. The Fang of Matsudo is not unbeatable anymore.
The dragon shot has been defeated.
The dragon shot misfires. That's probably Oh god, if I didn't know about that ahead of time, that would probably have been one of the greatest fucking page turners in the whole series. I
managed to read it blind after the part where the anime leaves off.
I think I have a screenshot somewhere, or I did have a screenshot somewhere, of the reaction on 4chan when that chapter got translated for the first time. I'm not sure I have ever seen so many replies to a post before. Except maybe the, one of the panelists from one of the last chapters of Attack on Titan. Other than that one, oh my god. At least like 50 people replied to it in the thread. It was crazy.
I'll be honest, when I first started getting into the series, the manga was already in around chapter 8 to 12 of Omega.
Ah.
So I read the entirety of Ashura in like 2 weeks without any spoilers after round 1. Or the first half of round 1.
Yeah.
And just went all the way through to the early parts of Omega straight on. Like, oh, it's so good! I've even reread half of it again just recently.
Yeah. Oh, like I just don't know what. The funny thing is, when it comes to doing these actual, like when it comes to describing these fights that I really like, I have a hard time doing it. Like basically,
there's a bunch of comments.
Oh yeah, you know what? Let's look at the comments. What do the comments have to say about Kuroki versus Agito?
Well, even further up, someone said the best fight is Sawpang versus Ray. Okay. I would put that in S tier myself, but I wouldn't call it the best. Worst is Hasumi versus Agito. A lot of people were really disappointed by that.
MJ actually liked MJ liked Kuroki versus Agito, best fight in the series for him. Kanye says, I feel like Gowling versus Kano is better than Agito versus Kuroki. It's close. Agito versus Gowling and Agito versus Kuroki are close. They're both contenders for best.
If Ryan fought Agito, Ryan would be forced to use Kure techniques, he says.
MJ said, Kuroki beating Agito established something I need to see more in manga. The universe doesn't revolve around the protagonist or the perceived antagonist. That's a very good thing to have in a series. That's a complaint that, this is mildly off topic, but I know that's a complaint people have about shit like Star Wars, where it's like the fucking universe revolves around this bloodline and their respective close people. And it's kind of annoying how it works like that. Like, the whole fucking universe revolves around these people. So it's cool to see when someone who has, well, not nothing to do with the other ones, but they're basically just there. Like, someone just shows up. They're a new guy, not really that important in the grand scheme of things, and the universe revolves around them instead. Or, well, the universe doesn't revolve around anyone. They're stronger than the important people, pretty much. And that's a cool, good thing to have in a series. It adds another layer to it that makes things more interesting.
One benefit about having a bunch of side characters is mitigating that problem.
Yeah.
Because the protagonist isn't even involved in 1/3 of the fights of the series.
Yeah.
Whether it's Kengan or Baki or even something like Bleach.
Yeah, that's always the really good thing. I like that about whenever I've tried to do this fucking comic, like, it's gonna be 3 times now. I'm gonna be trying it again. It's not like something I'm gonna publish or anything, it's just something I do for, like, my own personal enjoyment of doing it. I want to have side characters who do stuff and have, like, cool fights and abilities and shit outside the main characters. The only problem is, I find you have to try and strike a balance, pretty much. Yes, you want side characters to be able to do stuff other than that, but at the same time, for me at least, I have to try really hard not to just give all the cool shit to side characters and leave, like, the main character by the wayside. Because what happens is you come up with the main character, and the main character usually has to go on some kind of journey to become stronger and cooler, whereas for a lot of the side characters, they're already there. So they're already really fucking cool and strong. So it's hard to just not have them do a bunch of cool shit anyway, and then almost forget about the main characters. Fortunately, Oma still has a few really good fights, so... And Oma's important.
I was actually I was actually doing this thing just for fun. And I mentioned that where I was like going through every martial art that exists and different kinds of fighting and personalities for fighters, and just making my own like set of character roster for a thing similar to Kengan just for fun.
Yeah.
Making characters centered around these styles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know bear style kung fu?
I don't. What is that?
Do you know tiger style kung fu?
That sounds... No, actually, I don't really know any of the animal styles of Kung Fu.
Ah. Well, you know the game Judgment? Or Judge Eyes from the Yakuza franchise?
That sounds really I mean, I know the Yakuza games.
The main character alternates between Tiger style for single targets and Crane style for AoE attacks for
Crane
martial
style.
arts.
Yeah, okay. It's the fucking stances and shit, right?
Yeah, Tiger style is basically aggressive palm strikes and swipes and all that.
Yeah, I don't know the details of it, but I know that's like a thing. I know
Bear
like,
style is just even more aggressive Tiger style, and you basically have to be a big chungus to use it.
Jordan says, dang it, I just joined. How did the Waka fights rank? Okay, I'll go over it for you, Jordan. Okay, so the lowest ranked one, I think, is Waka wait, is it Waka versus... Yes, Waka versus Muteba is the lowest ranked one. Yes? Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, you put Muteba lower than the Gozo one.
Yeah, because the Gozo one I found way more funny. That one was fucking hilarious. Gozo, then Oma, S tier we have Julius versus Waka. And it is my top 5. Okay, it's about how I wanted it to be. Excellent. Good. Okay. That turned out the way I hoped it would. Kanye says if in Star Wars, if you're not Skywalker or friends, you're basically irrelevant, yeah. MJ says Baki has become a parody of itself to me. Too many characters were sacrificed at the altar of Yujiro and Baki. It's like, yeah, we get it. They're destined to be the best. Yeah,
There's literally no character in Baki that Baki himself has not defeated in their most recent fight.
Like, what is even the point of Baki now? Like, I know they go around doing shit. I know there have been a few arcs since Baki fought Yujiro. At least Baki-Do. Like, you've had the Musashi thing, and now you've had the Sumo thing. What's the point if Baki's
A lot of my friends said they just stopped reading after that. Like, the series was over to them.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, the Musashi shit is cool. Like, there's cool shit that happens in that. But what's the point of it? Why is it
Well, we know Baki technically... Hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry about that. That's in my throat.
I hate when that happens.
We know Baki technically won against Yujiro, but he's still not on his level yet.
Yeah, so he's still trying to get stronger to what? Fight him again?
No. He's not trying to get stronger anymore. He just accepts all challenges. And people keep coming out of the woodwork.
Okay, I guess.
And it's more about just expanding the side characters, the world, the martial arts.
I guess so.
I mean, you wouldn't get fights like Jack versus Matobe without it.
That's true. Or, what was a really good fight from the Musashi arc?
Musashi versus Pickle.
Yeah, that was good.
And Hanayama.
That was also... the end of that fight was really good. When Baki steps
Hanayama's got blind in one eye.
Yeah, Baki steps up for his fucking friend. If you pull that sword out, I'm gonna fucking murder you. That was cool.
Hanayama is one of my favorite characters, but he confuses me a lot.
Is probably one of the best characters in Baki. He's just a cool guy.
Do you think that time he was offering Baki women was a test?
It kind of felt like it, yeah. Like, something about the way he went about it felt like he was testing it. Like, he wanted to see what Baki would do.
Also, what a bro not making sure their date wasn't interrupted.
Oh my god. Well, for starters, it led to one of the best fights in Baki. At least probably one of the best fights in the anime so far is his fight with Spec, which was great.
Have you had enough yet?
Yeah, like, hey, don't fucking interrupt my friend's moment here. Let's go somewhere else.
That's why he got 2 spin-off manga of his own.
He's just that cool.
I love that Taniyama's thing is every time he fights somebody, he just asks, have you had enough yet? And if they say no, he will punch them in the face again.
Right. He's very considerate like that.
Even if they pass out unconscious, he'll wait for them to wake up and then ask them again.
God, the fucking death row inmates arc is so good.
Oh yeah, they really built up them possibly returning.
And it hasn't happened yet. I assume whenever that happens, people will become interested in the manga again to a greater extent. You know, for Band's comic, I told him that he should do an arc like that, and he's gonna do one. I told him he's gotta at least watch the first episode of Netflix Baki to get an idea for how he needs to introduce these characters, and we're all very excited for it.
Kanye says giving all this cool stuff to side characters is the problem with My Hero Academia. No one cared about Deku and Ochako for most of the series because everybody else was awesome.
That is kind of a problem, is that a lot of the side characters are way cooler and more interesting. Like, I don't hate them.
And that they learned
they're
Kung Fu
decent.
from Kung Fu Panda.
Nice. Yeah, like with the original main three characters in My Hero, I like them. They don't do enough. And also a lot of the side characters are cooler than Midoriya, so it's unfortunate. It is something you need to try really hard to balance. I've found
I did recently binge.
It's kind of hard to make a cool main character, or kind of a little bit. I've found it's kind of hard to make an interesting main character because a lot of the time a lot of time depending on what kind of series you want to do, you mostly just want them to kind of be there to move the story along and kind of get through stuff. Otherwise, you may as well just do a bunch of anthology stories.
2 more comments I like. Let's see. Someone asked if we read Ippo. I recently binged the first 75 episodes of the anime, and it's really hype.
I have not read it yet, but I want to at some point, because I know it's really good.
I mean, you read The Boxer.
Yeah, and I know Ippo's apparently way better. I mean, it's not.
It's also longer
Ippo's
than
legendary.
One Piece.
It's like 1,300 chapters. I gotta get around to it at some point. I should probably finish One Piece first before I read something like Ippo.
Also, I don't know how you... Jordan? I don't know what that symbol over the A means. He thinks it was, Hanayama questioning Baki's loyalty because of how his dad is.
That's fair, I guess. Bo says, the reason I like Kengan more than Baki is because you don't know who will win, and when the protagonist does fight, it felt like a challenge, while in Baki, I never feel that they might lose. Yeah, it is a bit of a problem in Baki, especially with... I know someone described the issue with the fight between Yujiro and Musashi. The rule is Yujiro can't lose. He's the strongest creature on Earth. He can't lose to anyone. On the other hand, Musashi is like a legendary national figure for Japan, and Itagaki is like fucking insanely nationalistic, so he can't have him lose. So what happens? Motobe interrupts it.
And then Motobe becomes the main character.
Yeah, and he becomes Meme Tobe.
Oh, is that a thing? People just think it's way too exaggerated how good he is?
Yeah. Like, there have been jokes about fucking Meme Tobe can beat, like, literally anyone, given the circumstances.
To be fair, when he beat Musashi was going out of his way to only strike where he was heavily armored and stuff like that.
Probably not, then. When they make a detail of that, it's like, oh, if Musashi wanted to kill you, he could have. He could have just cut his fucking head off or something.
Yeah, he literally said that. Like, thanks for letting me win. Do you understand now what I'm trying to say to you?
Ninja TV is late. Well, don't worry, we're still going to be here for at least a few more minutes, because we still got the last fight to rank. And Dark Shadow says, this is a very off-topic thing, but has anyone ever had a problem where you can't put thumbnails on your videos? No, I mostly use Studio for putting them in, because I find when I put a thumbnail in on my PC, it doesn't really give me the same options for, like, zooming in and cropping and stuff as when I do it on mobile. But I have had times where I put in a new thumbnail, and then on various platforms it doesn't show the new thumbnail.
Man, I remember when I was young, and I believe that YouTube thumbnails had to be a screenshot from the video itself.
You know what? I remember thinking that, too, because they used to just be... Like, for a lot of stuff, it would just be a screenshot from the video.
Or if it was just, like, the very first frame of the video, and you try to pause to see it.
Yeah. Alright. It's time. This has gone on for about 2 hours. Not fucking bad in the slightest. It's time.
It's
The
time.
championship match.
The
Takeda Oma
final
versus
bout.
Kuroki Gensai. Alright. At the very least, high A.
You
Somewhere
put that in S tier, you son of a bitch.
I
kidding.
should. You know what? I probably should.
Yeah, but actually do it.
Yeah, but where? Is it better than...
It doesn't have to be the highest, but it has to be an S.
Do I like it more than the Kiryu fight? I'm not sure. Because what this fight basically is, is it's kind of like Oma's fight with Waka, where he's holding on for dear life for as long as physically fucking possible to maybe just have the chance to get a knockout blow.
I honestly think he did consistently better against Kuroki than he did against Waka.
Yeah, kind of.
Kuroki just knew about Demon's Bane.
Yeah, and even then, Kuroki was like, Demon's Bane is formless. Even though I know how it works, I have to be constantly vigilant. I have to be super careful.
Yeah, like, he's seen Dragon Shock before he fought Agito. He helped make Demon's Bane.
Right. Yeah, don't worry. It's not
Kuroki
that
is just the
serious.
guy who had spoilers about everyone's techniques
Kuroki
because he
somehow knows everyone.
he wins
You
half the
could-
time
you
because not
could
only the training, but he
maybe-
knows everyone's special moves.
You could maybe argue that that's Kuroki's plot armor, is he knows everyone.
He helped with the Koei style. He helped with the Nico style. He watched Agito fight all the other people.
Yeah. And
He even knew the
Kuroki,
right. He
you know
killed
what,
Ray's
Kanye?
father.
You are correct. It should probably deserve to be S tier just for the sheer fact it has the best art in the series, bar none.
We didn't mention he killed Ray's dad.
Yeah, he did kill Ray's dad.
He knew them too.
Yeah, Kuroki is, for a guy who's, in theory, should just be like he just shows up. He's just a guy who just shows up and wins the tournament. He's been around a lot. Like, he knows fucking everybody, somehow.
And suddenly they're gonna reveal he's actually Rahito's dad.
Yeah. This fight, especially like at least the last chapter of it has the best art in the series. Because, well, I mean, it's the last fight of Ashura, so of course it has the best art. The last couple chapters of this fight are outstanding. They're some of the best fights in all of Kengan, or some of the best chapters in all of Kengan. Like the second to last chapter of the fight is basically just Oma fucking almost going unconscious and thinking about everything as he's just getting beaten on by Kuroki, and then decides, I'm still gonna try to win. Like, I could die like any second now. I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm not gonna give up though. I'm gonna keep fighting. And then you have the last chapter with Yamashita's monologue about people striving after their dreams. It's the best speech in Kengan. It's one of the best speeches in anything I've ever read. It's an amazing speech. And then the last few pages of the chapter are maybe peak Kengan. At least in terms of the art, they are. They're just absolutely fucking outstanding. Almost every panel is like a painting. I would put some of those panels on my fucking wall. I would, like, print them out, not just on, like, printer paper. I would have, like, a nice fucking printing of it done on, like, a canvas or something. I would put it up on a wall. It's that good.
I think I just realized about the fight.
What would that
Throughout the whole thing, it's basically Kuroki defeating every tactic that Oma used to defeat all of his prior opponents. The advance, it doesn't work. He has to turn it off. The Nico style's like ultimate binding and grappling techniques that he used on Cosmo, he stabs him in the leg with his hand. Big turning moment. The thing, Demon's Bane, he hit it in his shoulder instead.
Right.
All that stuff, he's just overcoming everything that Oma used to win his previous fights, and then Oma has nothing left.
Even complete mastery of the Nico style, Advance and Demon's Bane is not enough to reach Kuroki.
Isn't that like the thumbnail for this tier list?
What, even that couldn't reach Kuroki? No, I just have the usual thumbnail.
I mean, the punch.
Oh, no, wait, yes.
That final.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because I almost spoiled Neve on that because I didn't realize they had the thumbnail for it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the best spread in the series is the Advanced Demon's Bane. It's great. Like, that's the best. That's the type of shit that's missing in Omega art. Like, you can feel all of the movement and emotion in Oma's Demon's Bane in that spread. And you don't feel like any of that in Omega. Like, it's just missing from the art. The art is too still. There's not enough life in a lot of the art in Omega.
I want you to go over S tier and look at the common thread of who's in all of the fights in S tier.
I have thought about that.
Name them all.
Okay, we have... Going from the bottom up, we have Kuroki and Oma. Then we have Kuroki and Kiryu. Then we have Waka and Julius. Then we have Agito and Gao Lang. Then we have Ryan and Oma. Then we have Kuroki and Agito. You have a few characters... Okay, so Kuroki has 3 S tier fights. Oma has 2. Agito has 2. And 2 of them are in the top 3. And then Oma has one that's in second. Oma and Ryan have one that's in second place.
And then there's Julius and Waka.
Yeah, and there's Julius and Waka. Though that one's just kind of an outlier in general for all the fights because it's just a sheer brute strength fight until the very end.
Yeah. Julius refuses all techniques and tactics. He understands the body more than anyone, and how to destroy it.
If Julius or Waka actually dedicated way more time to learning how to do martial arts, they would be stronger than Kuroki.
Well, Waka was kicked out of the karate school.
Yeah, for what, being too strong or something? Or was it for
being for being in illegal martial arts matches.
Yeah, but
and
like,
Joji sort of retired after he got into a tournament.
Yeah, though, like, Waka, you've fought in, like, over 300 matches or something. I'm sure you could just meet another karate practitioner and be like, hey, could you, like, teach me some karate? Maybe?
For anyone who's read Fist of the Seeker, I want someone to tell me how Joji, the ultimate karate master, scales to Kuroki and Waka, the other karate guys.
Oh, right. Yeah, I believe I've seen someone say that Joji is probably the strongest person in the Purgatory Arena right now.
Yeah, I want to see Joji versus Kuroki.
I want to see... Listen, Muteba, I love you. Tiger Nico's gonna kill the shit out of you. You're fucked. You're fucked, my guy.
Well,
now
fair,
listen,
I think...
Maybe armed prep time Muteba is a completely different animal from, like, Annihilation Tournament Muteba. Probably is, I mean.
Think about this. Something a lot of people forget. Within the span of Oma fighting Kiryu, they clarify Tokita Nico fought Tiger Nico and won, barely. And then he says, Oma, while injured, while having his memories, is stronger than Tokita Nico. But right before Oma got brainwashed, Tiger Nico easily defeated him. So now it's saying during Annihilation Tournament, Oma should be stronger than what Tiger Nico was 10 years ago, easily.
In theory, I mean, with his fight with Kuroki, they said that Oma surpassed Tokita Nico in terms of the redirection kata. I don't think necessarily with everything else. I mean, we've wondered... if Oma is actually stronger than Nico, but it's not clear. Because we haven't really
kill
seen,
Nico put in, like...
If we saw the fight between the two Nikos, that would make it much easier to understand.
Why did Kiryu think he died?
I don't know, because Kiryu's a fucking schizophrenic. He doesn't know.
Well, yeah, he is easily manipulated,
on,
too.
like, a battered and bloody, unconscious Tiger Nico, like, face down in the dirt, and he must have been like, well, I guess he's dead. Anyway,
Back to my hard-on for Oma.
yeah. Like,
Hey,
we already
Master!
knew Kiryu is not a reliable narrator.
There's literally like 4 close-ups in the manga of just Kiryu having an erection.
a raging hard-on. Just so...
And Yamashita's like, oh shit!
Shit, I was thinking something. Oh, right, I was gonna read some comments. Kanye says, I like how
Yes.
physically exhausted Oma, basically saying, I like how much impact the art has. Like, you can feel how exhausted Oma is. It makes you feel how hard Oma is trying, and it makes you feel how hopeless it is. Yeah, Kuroki feels insurmountable in the last fight. Just because you've seen everything he can do, and you're like, Oma, you're like fucking half dead right now. By the way, because half-dead Oma managed to break one of Kuroki's arms with a Demon's Bane, I am confident in saying that if he's at full health, he would have done an even better job than Agito in his fight.
Especially now after his training, Oma could probably beat Kuroki.
Maybe, I don't know. It's not clear how much stronger Kuroki's gotten either, because we knew Kuroki wanted to train as well, too.
Well, he probably spent more of that time training Rahito than he did getting more powerful himself.
Maybe, though I wonder exactly what Kuroki would do to get stronger from where he is now.
I mean, he has more social gatherings to meet more masters.
Yeah, I guess.
He's the better Yumigahama.
Kanye says the best art in Omega was Julius versus Toa and Waka versus Faye. Julius versus Toa had really good perspective art. Like, the perspective and stuff, you could feel how fucking huge these guys are. That was really good. And Waka
It
versus
really
Faye...
made me confused about how tall they actually are.
Yes, the height is very inconsistent. Daro's kind of bad at keeping that consistent. Though that seems to be an issue that a lot of artists have, is they're just really bad at consistency. I would have to keep like a scale where it's like this character is one head taller than the other person. Whenever I draw them next to each other, this person must be one head taller. Yeah, I posted the one with Okoye standing next to what was his name again?
Shit, I always forget his name.
The masked guy who did not become the Fang. Dude who beat the shit out of,
Yeah, why didn't he become the Fang during the time skip?
What the fuck was that dude's name again?
Was he the 7th Fang? Hikaru?
It's not clear.
Hikaru. It's Hikaru, right?
No, Hikaru is Yumi's first name. Or his last name. I don't know, it's one of his other names.
Shit.
Taka something.
But yeah, why was it? Well, maybe he was the 7th Fang?
I don't know, it's not clear.
He should have been.
Yeah, he should have been.
Also, it points out he's just a brawler. That's all he does.
Yeah. He will punch a katana. He will cut his own fucking finger off to beat the shit out of you.
Maybe that's why he keeps losing.
Yeah, and Waka vs. Faye has a pretty good art. Waka vs. Faye has fortunately had some of the stuff that I felt's been missing in a lot of Omega art, which is the really good, messy impact panels. Like, when, after Faye went into Divine Demon and fucking smacked Waka across the ring, that was a damn good impact panel.
I literally couldn't tell what was happening the first time I looked at it.
The first one where he uses it the first time, and like where it's at the end of the chapter, that one is very confusing. Takayama, that's what it is. That's his name. Takayama.
Minoru.
Yeah, Minoru.
God, he doesn't do much.
When he fights... When he gets hit with it right after Faye goes into Divine Demon, that one I feel like is intentionally confusing. Like, if you squint really hard, you think you can kind of tell what's going on. But I think it's supposed to be a case where literally everyone's like, what the fuck just happened? I have no idea. He
also got up really fast from that.
Yeah. But
looked like his chest got caved in.
Right. Then when he almost knocks Waka out of the ring, that's the one where it's like, god damn.
That face he makes.
Yeah.
Waka always makes the most intense bestial facial expressions ever during his fight. Because Waka's a very
intense man. He takes this very seriously.
He's the wild tiger.
I mean, to be fair, Waka takes fights more serious than just about anybody. That's what's great about it.
It's the wild tiger versus the tiger's vessel, guys.
Yeah. Well, we knew it. That's what I said when it started. It was like, it's the fucking battle of the tigers.
Jordan agreed with me about, like, I can't explain why I felt like Oma withstood Kuroki better than Waka, besides him saving up on the advance. But Kuroki fighting Oma is practically brittle.
Right.
Waka asked Oma to teach you Nico style.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone's asking when you're going to review the new chapter of Berserk.
I think not necessarily a new chapter. I started doing arc reviews a while back, and then I stopped because, well, I wasn't reading Berserk anymore. I'm going to pick it up again at some point. There's just a lot of other stuff that I feel more motivated to read. I've said this a couple of times to a few people. When I get back into reading Berserk, we'll get back to the arc reviews. Oh, shit, I guess Fantasia is going to be its own thing with all the chapters. There won't be a separate chapter review, I guess. Well, that'll mostly probably be me talking about the end of Berserk. Jordan says, I kind of don't like the blood in Omega. Can't stop seeing hexagons as wounds. I think that's just because the scan quality is not that good. Because they're not getting the scans from volumes like they did for... I'm pretty sure with Ashura, they got the scans from the volume copies, so they were much nicer quality. Whereas for the new chapters, it's like ripped straight from some Chinese website or some shit. Well, I don't think from a Chinese website, but I think it's a Chinese group that gets it from the online magazine, and it's just digital, so it doesn't look as good. Like, the scan quality is just not as good as the translated Ashura chapters, so I think that's part of why.
I love all the volume covers.
Yeah, they're great. Well,
so, where should we put Oma versus Kuroki?
I have a bottom S tier.
The bottom?
Uh...
You think that's Kuroki's worst fight, possibly, besides Rei?
Well, the thing is, I like his other two fights in this more than this fight.
I'm looking at it kind of zoomed out, so some of the images just blend together.
Yeah. Okay, the ones I have above the final fight are Kuroki versus Kiryu, Julius versus Waka, Agito versus Gao Lang, Oma versus Ryan, and Kuroki versus Agito.
So you think Kuroki versus Kiryu is better than Kuroki versus Oma?
Yes?
Was it because of the shock factor?
I'm not
because
sure,
beating the protagonist
actually.
is usually even more shocking.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, fuck it. I'll put it up with that one. There you go. It's in top 5 now. Good job.
Ooh.
Convinced me. It was that easy.
No one flame war me.
Kanye says, what's your favorite fight in Omega so far? Either the current fight or Liu versus Nitoku.
I love Nitoku and Misasa.
It's a fucking great fight. That fight, Liu versus Nitoku had the shit from Ashura that's been missing in this fight. Like, the dynamic between the fighters, both of them being likable and compelling, good choreography, good art, all that stuff. That was what was missing from a lot of these fights.
Remember when we saw that initial thing about the Japanese guy learning Sambo and thought, oh, is that Nikosu's backstory? Is that it? Turned out that wasn't even him, apparently.
Maybe.
That was just, oh, he was studying abroad in college in Russia, and he just learned Sambo while he was there.
Well, that's pretty much all for today. That was the tier list. 2 hours. We started like 20 minutes in. That was about 2 hours. Not bad. Not too bad. If I don't.
That was right on time, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. It was nice having you on here, Ace. You should join in more often.
Oh, thanks. You can just tag me whenever. I just recently got more hours at work, so it might be a little bit less frequent that I can join at times like this. But if you were to have them like later at night, I'd be able to join a lot more.
Yeah, usually, I haven't been doing weeknight streams that much because, well, now it's pretty much just been the comic reaction things for Band. I started doing these afternoon streams because just according to, I did like a community poll and more people are available in the afternoon on weekends than they are at night. Maybe I'll go back to doing night streams on the afternoon, or on the weekend. We'll see.
The days I'm off shift a lot.
Yeah, I understand that.
If you ever doing like a pre-recorded video, that'd be great. I could be part of that thing too.
Yeah, maybe. I'll see
Oh,
what I'll...
someone's asking a good question that I agree with. Why is Kuroki versus Rahito higher than Kuroki versus Rei?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I think there's more to the fight that I liked than for that one. For Kuroki versus Rei, it's mostly just, damn, Rei surprised Kuroki. Oh, fuck, he killed... Oh, God, Kuroki knocked the shit out of Rei. Oh,
3 times.
Yeah. Whereas the Rahito one, I think it was more interesting watching, like, Rahito is so out of his fucking depth here in this tournament. And also, I think the end of that fight is really good.
Remember that? 5 times.
I could have killed you 5 times now. You are so beyond comical. It's amazing. And the
I
end of the
almost
fight,
pity you.
The end of the fight's really good, where Rahito's like, damn, it's really fucking quiet right now. It's like when Oma beat me. Wouldn't it be awesome if I turned things around right now, and then it doesn't happen?
And then he cries.
And then he cries. That's a good fight. Yeah, that's why it's there.
Now apparently he's going to be fellow students with the Falcon under...
Listen, if we get to see more
Kuroki.
Falcon, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining if we get to see more Falcon. I am not complaining.
He does admit that if Falcon fought Rahito again, knowing about the poison, Rahito would probably win.
Yep. That's also a good fight. That one's, at least top 3 in the Purgatory Tournament. Great fight.
I remember you saying that was like the best fight up through the first 8 rounds or so.
Yeah, just all the fights after that really did not do as much to impress me.
And someone's saying Giroda versus Hayami would have been favored if Giroda won.
You know
and
what?
I always say, Giroda only could have won that fight within the rules by throwing Hayami out of the ring.
And then didn't for some reason. With
Maybe...
with the insane shit Giroda could do with like the fucking friction judo throws, he couldn't throw a guy out of the ring, really.
Well, he never threw him far. He always like kept a hold of him until he hit the ground.
You would
as
have
per
figured that he
judo.
could have maybe kind of tried baiting Hayami towards the edge of the ring like some of the other fighters did. And then
Maybe, but that would have gone against his pride, wouldn't it?
Maybe. I don't know. The end of that fight was just so unsatisfactory.
He was like, this is the fight of my life that I've wanted for 20 years, and I want to enjoy it to the end until we decide which one of us is stronger. And then he realizes, oh, I can't do that because he can't feel pain, he can't go unconscious. I could only prove I'm stronger by killing him and breaking his neck.
Yeah, and then the end was just so fucking dumb. The end of that fight was not great at all.
It was very confusing backstory, too.
Anyway, that's all for today, folks. I hope you all enjoyed. This is probably one of the best performing streams I've had in a while. I'm wondering how it's going to do after the fact, because usually my streams get quite a few more views afterwards. Since this is a dedicated Kengan thing, maybe it'll get quite a bit of views. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe advertise it.
Yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Any final thoughts, Ace? Anything you'd like to promote?
Well, honestly, I think Ray is a bit underrated.
He is. I think Ray's
I hope
actually
he shows
really
back
strong.
up in Omega after his training, and he's like S tier now, upper S tier possibly.
Maybe. I mean, I do think Ray's pretty strong. So. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the next reaction for Ben's comic, and then you dedicated Kengan fans here, I'll see you all on Wednesday with maybe the end of the fight. I don't know. I think it's either going to be this week or next week. We're just going to have to find out.
Who do you think's gonna win?
I don't know, really. It's weird. I don't know who'll win. Faye, I think it
might be a draw.
It could be a draw, maybe, but with the way things have gone, I can actually see Waka pulling off a win.
What if Waka has Faye on the ropes and then he just forfeits like Muteba did because he wants to fight Nico? He wants to fight Oma more than Waka. He said that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna have to see. So that'll be exciting to find out. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
See ya.
See ya.